Hola, buen día. Muchas gracias por participar en esta conferencia. Mi nombre es Viridiana Blanco y soy gerente de marketing para Eplan Hispanoamérica. A continuación, le voy a ceder la palabra a mis compañeros, el ingeniero Juan Carlos Garza, quien está a cargo de la gerencia de soporte técnico en Eplan Hispanoamérica, y el ingeniero Carlos Hernández, quien es gerente de cuenta para toda la zona norte de México. Ellos estarán hablando en esta conferencia sobre cómo nuestras soluciones en Eplan ayudan a nuestros clientes a incrementar su eficiencia y, por consiguiente, la productividad en sus negocios. Vamos a mostrar algunas de las metodologías que utilizamos para ello y cómo en este proceso paso a paso les vamos guiando en todo este camino para incrementar su productividad. Nuevamente, muchas gracias y recuerden que también estaremos respondiendo todas sus dudas en los chats. Bienvenidos.
Hola, buenas tardes a todos. Primeramente es un gusto saludarlos, esperando que haya sido productivo su día y las presentaciones en las cuales han estado ingresando. Mi nombre es Juan Carlos Garza, soy el gerente técnico de Eplan y bueno, pues el día de hoy vamos a hablar o cerrar este ciclo de conferencias acerca de las soluciones de Eplan orientadas para incrementar la productividad. Perfecto, muy bien. Bueno, voy a empezar yo en base pues, a la presentación. Posteriormente mi compañero el ingeniero Carlos Hernández va a continuar y bueno, va a cerrar el ingeniero Luis Olvera. Bueno, como lo han estado viendo durante todo este ciclo de conferencias, pues en este caso nosotros hemos tratado de darles un mensaje en el cual queremos mostrar cómo Eplan puede ser una solución no solamente de un software de diseño de ingeniería, sino como un proveedor de soluciones en los diferentes tipos de industria, como por ejemplo puede ser en la parte de alimentos y bebidas, en la parte de las CSMs o arranques de motores, también cómo podemos hacer integración con lo que son diferentes software, también, bueno, obviamente la parte del configurador, de los accesorios, más sin embargo, también tenemos otras integraciones también con diferentes compañías para lo que es soluciones de PLCs o ERPs. Al igual, mostramos cómo pueden ustedes generar unas cotizaciones de manera rápida en base a lo que es la planeación que ustedes hacen desde la parte de las necesidades del cliente. Y bueno, algunos otros datos en el cual mostramos que nuestro software no solamente es un software de dibujo, sino también de planeación y de integración. De esta manera, pues bueno, mostramos la facilidad en la cual podemos generar. Más sin embargo, bueno, hay un punto muy importante en el cual tenemos que tomar en consideración, sobre todo lo que es la metodología de trabajo. Para poder llegar a esos niveles, pues se tiene que tener una metodología de trabajo correcta y lo primero, antes que todo, tenemos que saber distinguir eh, los puntos primordiales para poder hacer una buena selección de soluciones, ¿no? Bueno, básicamente, ¿cuáles son los retos de la ingeniería? Obviamente, bueno, esta es una imagen en la cual podemos mostrar o podemos definir cómo es nuestro actual método de trabajo, en la cual, bueno, la mayoría de los clientes no puedo generalizar, más sin embargo, la mayoría de los clientes, cuando tienen lo que es un proyecto, bueno, realmente hacen lo que es una inversión importante de tiempo y esfuerzo en hacer ingenierías individuales. Ahorita vamos a explicar un poco acerca de esta parte y tienen tal vez una pequeño porcentaje de lo que son sus librerías estandarizadas. ¿Qué significa esto? Que tal vez ustedes como compañías ya tienen ciertas, digamos lo que soluciones en la cual haces un copy page, pero son copy page básicos. Tienen que invertirle mucho tiempo para que ustedes puedan modificar y, bueno, configurar la información como con respecto a los datos que generan. Entonces aquí tenemos dos elementos en los cuales se define como ITO y CTO. Básicamente la ITO es ingeniería individual y CTO estandarizada. Vamos a definir un poco lo que es cada uno, ¿no? Bueno, lo que es el ITO es un tipo de proceso de manufactura en el cual, bueno, el producto es diseñado y finalizado después de la orden recibida. O sea, básicamente es ingeniería que yo estoy haciendo al momento de que yo tengo una requisición. en ingeniería de detalle, en la cual yo voy a hacer una requisición. ¿Ok? Y el CTO, pues bueno, es una ingeniería en la cual, un tipo de híbrido en la cual ya está identificada en ciertas funciones y puedo seguir reutilizando. Entonces, la idea en este caso es que se disminuya lo más posible la ingeniería individual y utilicemos más lo que es la parte de la ingeniería estandarizada. Eh, por obvias razones, nunca vamos a dejar de tener ingenierías individuales porque, bueno, cada proyecto es diferente y hay que hacer modificaciones, más sin embargo, la tendencia es que tratemos de estandarizar lo más posible mediante ciertas metodologías y que el sitio sea pues la mayor cantidad de peso y obviamente entre mayor inversión de ingeniería estandarizada tenemos, el tiempo pues va a reducirse de manera considerable. Y eso nos va a ayudar a ser más efectivos y bueno, obviamente también nos va a generar un ahorro de tiempo y de costos en la parte del proceso. Una vez teniendo esta información, identificando cuáles son los objetivos desde el punto de vista de ingeniería, bueno, podemos definir cuál es el flujo de la orden en la cual, bueno, básicamente es muy típico desde el punto de vista del tiempo del ciclo de vida de un proyecto. ¿Qué es lo que hacemos como primer paso? Obviamente el cliente aquí nos hace los requerimientos en el cual pues, nos generan ciertas órdenes. Ya pueden ser órdenes preconfiguradas o estandarizadas que nosotros tenemos o algunos requerimientos especiales también. Esto básicamente recibimos la orden del cliente con todos los requerimientos y con las órdenes de trabajo. Recibimos la orden dentro de nuestra compañía, pues la orden que la recibe lo puede manejar un ERP interno o un cierto departamento en específico en el cual toma la información de las órdenes, como es una cotización, pues mucha de la información ya está predefinida, bueno, sobre todo de los equipos principales y podemos tener una prelista de los artículos que ya están definidos desde el requerimiento, también qué módulos vamos qué módulos vamos a requerir y qué opciones debe tener este proyecto en base a las órdenes y qué variantes también debemos de generar. Pero realmente esta es información como general de cómo va a ser el proyecto y bueno, es una información textual. Teniendo esta información, el siguiente paso es que el departamento de ingeniería, no sé si lo vean aquí, está en gris, internamente, ¿qué es lo que hace? Recoge la información de la orden y bueno, tenemos varios departamentos que trabajan en sincronía para poder llegar a la tarea. Es la parte mecánica, la parte de fluidos y la parte eléctrica. Empezamos a revisar dentro de las diferentes órdenes que tenemos, qué es lo que podemos reutilizar para poder disminuir ciertos tiempos. Es lo que conocemos el sitio o la configuración de la orden, en la cual ya tenemos ciertos componentes predefinidos, ciertas opciones predefinidas y ciertas variantes predefinidas. Teniendo esta información, pues bueno, ya tenemos el 80% de nuestro bill of material, en este caso podemos generarlo. Si en dado caso hay información que no está dentro de nuestra preconfiguración, pues tenemos que hacer lo que es la ingeniería. Ojo, no se confundan aquí que dice la terminología de ingeniería, que es el departamento de ingeniería, sino que tienen que desarrollar por primera vez, en este caso, pues la documentación eléctrica o mecánica, dependiendo de la información. Ya en esta parte, pues, se hace lo que es el ITO o la ingeniería to order, como lo habíamos visto previamente, y ya de aquí sacamos las nuevas construcciones, los nuevos procesos y los nuevos artículos que no se encontraban desde lo que es la preconfiguración o desde lo que es las librerías que contamos en este caso. Tenemos lo que es el bill of material, hacemos lo que es la conjunción de bill of material, además que, bueno, como somos un proyecto global, pues también tenemos que generar lo que es la información de la ingeniería de la manufactura, en la cual podemos, mediante algunas herramientas, hacer el digital twin de lo que es el armario, cómo va a quedar. Podemos generar los reportes de manufactura en cuestiones de conexiones, de las vistas 2D, de cómo van a colocar los equipos, de las vistas de perforaciones. Todos estos elementos, pues bueno, son generados en esta parte, en el departamento de ingeniería. Como nuevamente les comento, la tendencia es que el 80% en este caso sea información configurable y solamente un 20% pues invertamos en desarrollar nuevas tecnologías, ¿no? Ya tenemos lo que es la parte de la manufactura, hacemos la manufactura del armario con la información que nos provee ingeniería, hacemos un ensamble o preensamble, ya podemos tal vez hacer un ensamble final donde conjuntamos la parte de los armarios con lo que es la parte mecánica. Finalmente hacemos el comisionamiento y la operación. Entonces, este es el ciclo de vida que tenemos que hacer. Vamos a tocar un poco acerca de esta parte, ya que, bueno, en ocasiones esta es la parte medular y el punto de conexión entre las diferentes áreas, la parte de ingeniería. Bueno, para poder trabajar de manera efectiva en lo que es la parte de ingeniería, pues tenemos ciertos assessment. Nosotros como compañía global, bueno, hemos tenido experiencias con miles de usuarios, ya que somos una compañía global, que tenemos más de 35 años de experiencia. Creamos una metodología para definir cuál es el nivel de eficiencia de los departamentos, tanto de ingeniería como de manufactura. Hay tres tipos de análisis. Uno en base a lo que es el uso del software. Obviamente el objetivo de ahí solamente es mejorar el tiempo de los diseñadores, mas sin embargo hay otros dos puntos importantes en la cual hacemos un análisis completo del departamento de ingeniería desde que se recibe lo que es la orden de especificación, donde se hace el desarrollo, donde se genera el bill of material, la ingeniería, los diseños, la revisión, reportes y bueno, se hace el 2D, ¿no? Perdón, el 3D de los equipos. O también podemos hacer assessment del negocio completo, donde, bueno, ingeniería es un eslabón más de toda una cadena de valor. Entonces, aquí lo que hacemos es que tratamos de revisar cuáles son los procesos internos de ingeniería mediante lo que es una clasificación. Y hacemos una metodología de trabajo en la cual nosotros en base a ciertas preguntas podemos ver cuáles son el nivel de conocimiento o de uso de los software. No necesariamente tiene que ser de Eplan, en la cual hacemos preguntas generales de los procesos actuales, no solamente en cuestiones de dibujo, sino cómo reciben cierta información, cómo transfieren las informaciones, si manejan algún estándar, si manejan algunas plantillas, etcétera, etcétera. Y bueno, hacemos esta información general y nos da una tabla de eficiencia. En este caso, esta tabla de eficiencia viene categorizada por 5 niveles, en la cual podemos detectar en qué nivel están bueno, cada compañía en particular en base a sus procesos, y podemos detectar, por ejemplo, que del nivel 1 al 2, pues realmente es digámoslo que un proceso de ingeniería muy básico, en la cual, bueno, hacen un diseño que no está ligado a artículos, trabajan de manera manual, hacen solamente el copy-paste, y bueno, obviamente la eficiencia es muy baja. Si pasan a un siguiente nivel, en la cual ya usan plantillas, usan algunos artículos, hacen lo que es la tecnología de macros, y bueno, trabajan de manera más organizada, pues va a aumentar lo que es la eficiencia. Si se conjunta toda la parte del punto intermedio, pero además le meten tecnología de macros y algunas interfaces, pues obviamente el tiempo se va a reducir. Y bueno, hay algunas otras integraciones con RPs y otras configuraciones, ¿no? Ese es el nivel o la clasificación que podemos nosotros como solución de servicios identificar. Pues se preguntarán, ¿para qué es importante esto? En base a esta tabla, nosotros podemos proponer cuál es la meta de eficiencia, y además, bueno, con cierta información que ustedes nos pueden proveer. Obviamente esta información es confidencial, aquí es un ejemplo, no es un proyecto, no es información de algún cliente, en la cual, bueno, básicamente nos dicen cuántos usuarios son los que trabajan en la compañía, en el diseño, cuánto es el promedio de hora, cuántos proyectos tienen por el año, la cantidad de hojas, cuánto tiempo invierten en hacer lo que son la parte de diseño de ingeniería. Podemos hacer una prospección de cuánto es lo que estás gastando en este momento, y cuánto es el porcentaje de eficiencia, y cuánto es lo que gastarías en este caso en caso de haber estado en este punto, y te da lo que es un retorno de inversión de los elementos, ¿no? Además que no solamente nos enfocamos en la parte del retorno de inversión, que es importante, cuánto tiempo, cuánto dinero ahorras, sino también te podemos hacer una gráfica en la cual podemos detectar cuál es tu situación actual, dónde inviertes más tiempo y, bueno, en base a nuestras soluciones de servicios, cuánto tiempo es el tiempo que puedes reducir, ¿no? Y bueno, obviamente todo esto es una justificante. Una vez teniendo la parte de ingeniería, pues bueno, ya nos podemos enfocar también a lo que es un assessment de lo que es la compañía completa, en la cual, bueno, ya ve ciertos factores externos, una vez teniendo la información ya bien generada en la parte del ICAT, en la cual puedes hacer las integraciones con los software mecánicos, por ejemplo, CRIO, con algún PDM, bueno, también puede ser con algún ERP. Como diseño eléctrico, pues en este caso puedes también tener la comunicación con lo que son PLCs, donde puedan también generar la parte de manufactura de los armarios, tanto internos como externos. Aquí lo que hacemos es un big picture, una vez que tenemos bien definido o bien desarrollado nuestro departamento de ingeniería y detectamos cuáles son los flujos automáticos, en el cual no tienen ningún problema, pero vamos detectando cuáles son el flujo que es manual, donde son los cuellos de botella y donde existen la mayor cantidad de errores debido a que no hay una comunicación transparente de estos datos, ¿no? Teniendo una vez esta información, pues bueno, ya podemos apoyarlos mediante lo que es la metodología de Plan Experience, en la cual, bueno, básicamente son 8 campos de acción, donde tocamos los puntos desde lo más básico, desde saber la infraestructura que deben de tener para que las máquinas, para que los software puedan trabajar de manera correcta, no solamente la parte eléctrica, sino tal vez si ustedes tienen un software mecánico, pues también se ve considerada esta parte. De qué manera tiene que estar centralizada la información para que pueda haber una comunicación dentro de lo que son los usuarios. Y bueno, obviamente antes de empezar con lo que es la parte de la ingeniería, pues tenemos que definir un estándar, en qué estándar vamos a trabajar internacional para poder seguir ciertas reglas y lineamientos desde lo que son los cajetines, la simbología, la numeración, la nomenclatura, todo en base a normativas internacionales. Y una vez teniendo las normativas, ya podemos empezar a estructurar nuestro proyecto, creando subdivisiones, obviamente siempre respaldando de los estándares, pero ya enfocados a tareas puntuales de nuestra compañía. Y bueno, ya teniendo estas estructuraciones, ya podemos empezar con lo que son la metodología de diseños. Podemos detectar cuáles son los flujos de trabajo en la cual podemos integrar ya, empezar a integrar otros componentes u otros software que no sean netamente de eléctricos, sino que a lo mejor en este caso ustedes reciben la información de la parte mecánica a la parte eléctrica, o la parte eléctrica le envíen la parte de programación, y poder ir detectando de qué manera podemos hacer integración con estos otros disciplinas para poder hacer más rápido lo que es un proyecto. Y bueno, obviamente finalmente tenemos que tener un project manager para que pueda hacer una asignación de tareas y también lo que son tiempos. Esto es, bueno, esto es digamos lo que la base de las soluciones. ¿Cuáles son las estrategias? Pues bueno, mediante lo que son consultorías, mediante lo que son también, obviamente, la parte de los software que vamos a seleccionar, eléctrico, mecánico, de programación, de lo que son manufactura. Se tiene que hacer una implementación y bueno, el soporte global es importante para poder sacar más rápido pues las dudas que tenemos, ¿no? Y una vez teniendo esto, pues podemos tener una visión general o total de una solución. Una vez teniendo estas soluciones, pues bueno, ya podemos hacer una detección del Big Picture. En este caso habíamos detectado cuáles son los cuellos de botella y bueno, mediante los assessment podemos hacer una planeación de inversión de software, de soluciones, por ejemplo, de ingenierías típicas, estructuraciones, plantillas de proyecto, de qué manera se pueden integrar, por ejemplo, con los PLCs, ¿ok? Y bueno, igual con los PDMs, RPs, y mandar esta información en la parte de manufactura. Y bueno, Carlos, no sé si gustas continuar en esta parte.
Sí, gracias, Juan. ¿Puedes ceder los derechos, por favor?
Sí, claro que sí.
Listo. Gracias. Ok, perfecto. Bueno, continuando con lo que mencionaba Juan, Este es, digamos, un vistazo de lo que podemos nosotros llegar a poder implementar con la solución de Eplan. Es un vistazo general de dónde estamos posicionados, qué es lo que podemos nosotros ayudarles en implementar la solución de Eplan. Ustedes ven aquí, por ejemplo, lo que está pintado en color rojo son las soluciones de Eplan. Dentro de estas soluciones de Eplan puede ser ingenierías conceptuales, hay módulos específicos para ingenierías de fluidos, por ejemplo, hidráulica, neumática, obviamente la parte eléctrica, ingeniería de control, potencia, va dentro de esta parte. También está una solución enfocada a la parte de los gabinetes, cómo va a quedar en 3D físicamente mi proyecto. Es decir, esta información es meramente de las soluciones, digamos, ya propiamente del software, ¿no? Desde el concepto hasta la parte de la manufactura. Entonces, todo esto también nos va a originar pues listas de materiales, documentos que van a servir para otros departamentos. Como pueden ver aquí en esta filmina, no nada más es para el departamento de ingeniería, sino esto va a impactar en diferentes rubros de departamentos. También incluso desde ventas, desde que se hace la propuesta del proyecto como tal, desde aquí del configurador. Como para los que pudieron asistir a las presentaciones anteriores, podemos hacer las configuraciones previas de un proyecto ya teniendo las especificaciones de ese proyecto que me está pidiendo mi cliente, ¿no? Entonces, desde el área comercial, pasando por ingenierías de detalle, ingenierías básicas, ingenierías para la parte de la manufactura. Entonces, toda esta información va ahora sí a ser distribuida, ya sea para el área de ensamble, para el área de manufactura, para el área de compras, etcétera, para el programador, incluso que ustedes ven aquí abajo, que también podemos comunicarnos con la parte de los programas, del software, por ejemplo, de PLCs, podemos comunicarnos con softwares también para con el corte de los cables, con máquinas de CNCs, con impresoras para mandar a imprimir todo automáticamente. Entonces, esta información sirve para tenerlo a la mano, ¿no? Aparte también lo mecánico es importante también tenerlo en mente, toda la parte de la coordinación y diferentes softwares que nos ayudan a administrar los recursos, ¿no? Como pueden ser softwares RP, PDMs, como pueden ser SAP, Oracle, entre otros. Y la novedad ahorita es la parte de las soluciones en la nube, que a partir de la nube nosotros podemos empezar a desarrollar proyectos con las soluciones que ya manejan el software de Eplan. Es decir, poder hacer las configuraciones de un proyecto nuevo o de un proyecto existente, si es un proyecto que ya está estandarizado, como lo mencionaba Juan Carlos, ETO, Engineer to Order, pues bueno, entonces esto ya lo podemos nosotros gestionar desde la nube. Es decir, con simples clics podemos hacer un proyecto completo de N número de hojas, ¿no? Pueden ser un proyecto de 200 hojas en cuestión de minutos. ¿Por qué? Porque ya tenemos el ITO, es decir, ya tenemos el estándar de nuestras ingenierías. Eso es importante y primordial conocer. Para lo que es nuevo, ahí es donde les toca hacer este tipo de soluciones. Por aquí el departamento de soporte ayuda para que puedan ustedes estandarizarse en los procesos. Es decir, van a contar con el soporte técnico, con los especialistas, con los consultores, para que les platiquen de su proyecto, si ustedes quieren estandarizar sus ingenierías que ya conocen, su ITO, es decir, todo lo que se puede estandarizar como algo repetitivo, como algo reutilizable, eso lo podemos nosotros tener visualizado dentro de nuestro proyecto y que el know-how se conserve en la compañía. Entonces, ya teniendo esta información, entre más litio esté dentro de la compañía, es decir, entre más estandarizada sea nuestra ingeniería, que simplemente con checkmarks me ayude a configurar mi proyecto, pues más eficiente va a ser el tiempo de entrega, más eficiente va a ser la entrega de los proyectos, más eficiente va a ser el ensamble también, porque ya, si ustedes ven la documentación que genera, también es de etiquetado, que ustedes ven al lado derecho, etiquetado, información de diagramas, información de listas de cableado, de listas de perforación, y esta información también les ayuda para la gente de ensamble para que puedan hacer sus tableros sus máquinas, sus líneas de producción de una manera más eficiente y a través de la nube, ¿no? Ahora también, algo importante es de que desde la nube también podemos nosotros tener acceso o darle acceso más bien al proyecto a los distintos usuarios finales. Entonces, esta información también la pueden obtener desde la nube y desde aquí pueden ellos empezar a ver su proyecto. Ya no es nada más imprime en PDF o imprime las hojas de mi proyecto, ¿no? Sino que ahora desde la nube podemos visualizar nuestro proyecto, agregar comentarios, dar un mantenimiento óptimo a nuestros diagramas. Tal vez a lo mejor soy integrador firmo alguna póliza de mantenimiento para que mi cliente final ahora ya se asegure y le aseguremos de que siempre van a estar actualizados nuestros diagramas eléctricos, siempre van a estar actualizados el proyecto e incluso también poder tener un lazo con el usuario final para cualquier cambio o modificación que exista en el diagrama posterior a la entrega ya sea mucho más eficiente. Entonces, para todo esto, como podrán ver, no por sí solo el software no lo va a hacer, no lo va a hacer. Ustedes, por eso es que nosotros recomendamos ampliamente tener el soporte de nuestros especialistas, quienes son los expertos que nos pueden ayudar a saber cómo está su proceso internamente. El primer paso es conocer su proceso, ¿no? Entonces, es como si hiciéramos un diagnóstico primeramente de sus procesos, cómo están actualmente, cómo les gustaría estar, qué información es la que desean ustedes estandarizar, qué es lo que quieren mejorar. Nos platican sus cuellos de botella y empezamos a hacer un plan que sea funcional para ustedes. Cada plan es diferente en cada compañía. Unos están más preocupados a lo mejor por los tiempos de entrega, otros están preocupados por entregar propuestas en tiempo récord, otros a lo mejor quieren mejorar la calidad de la documentación al momento del ensamble. Es decir, cada uno tiene sus propios retos, ¿no? Entonces, platicamos con ustedes para que nos digan qué es lo que ustedes quisieran mejorar y qué les podemos ayudar, porque tenemos un plan específico para cada uno de sus proyectos. Aparte del entrenamiento que es vital también para conocer el producto, el software, hay paquetes de consultoría que son los que ven a continuación, que pueden ser escalables, es decir, por etapas. Es decir, no es nada más el software, toma el curso y ya yo voy a empezar a hacer el proyecto. Pueden empezar a hacerlo, pero la curva de aprendizaje va a ser más prolongada. A que si nosotros hacemos un paquete que incluya entrenamiento de los módulos que ustedes hayan seleccionado y luego aparte un plan de capacitación, un plan de consultoría que vaya orientado al estándar, a generar los CTOs, a generar todo lo que sea reutilizable para evitar tiempos muertos, para evitar retrabajos o evitar alguna falla al final del proyecto. Entonces, eso nos ayuda también para estandarizarnos y para que el know-how se conserve en la compañía. Entonces, es completamente modularizado. Hay 3 niveles. Está el nivel básico, en donde los temas se imparten sobre la base del software, es decir, cómo hacer más eficiente la parte del software, cómo empezar a automatizar poco a poco estos niveles. En la etapa 2, pues bueno, ya se hablan de los temas un poco más orientados a la productividad, de cómo quiero, qué tan rápido quiero hacer mi ingeniería o cómo lo puedo hacer para ser más eficiente, ¿no? Y el nivel 3 es, bueno, ya cuando se hace la elaboración de los datos del cliente, qué es lo que se puede respaldar, qué necesito, es decir, ya se hace un plan a la medida, ¿no? Por ejemplo, aquí ustedes tienen alguna práctica que nosotros recomendamos, que es desde la iniciación del proyecto, ustedes nos platican, se hace el análisis previamente con ustedes, nos platicamos de su proyecto hoy en día, cómo se entrega, nos muestran incluso un proyecto que ustedes hagan, nosotros analizamos y tomamos nota. Básicamente es el primer paso, tomar nota de lo que hacen actualmente y ya en una segunda reunión vamos viendo cómo poder implementarlo. Preparamos un plan en donde les entregamos un PDF, un entregable, en el cual les decimos, mira, este va a ser el plan que nosotros detectamos de acuerdo al diagnóstico que hicimos o el assessment que hicimos previamente, ¿no? Esto nos va a garantizar que nos ajustemos a la medida y que nos ajustemos a lo que ustedes están buscando implementar. No los dejamos solos para que ustedes hagan el estándar, sino que están siempre de la mano con nuestros especialistas para que cuenten con ellos en todo momento durante el servicio de mantenimiento que ustedes tengan activos. Y bueno, las consultorías también son por separado, se hace un plan a la medida, ¿no? Se tocan temas desde el ambiente de trabajo, ambiente de proyecto, cómo configurar las ingenierías típicas. Si ustedes detectan que algo se puede configurar, nos platican y nos dicen, mira, estos son mis diagramas, normalmente es lo que yo utilizo, quiero que me lo configures para que sea reutilizable, que sea ITO y que cada vez menos sea ingeniería individual, ¿no? Porque cuando hay ingeniería individual, pues no es lo mismo que si ponemos a hacer un proyecto, a pesar de que sea el mismo al ingeniero 1 o al ingeniero 2, porque cada uno lo va a hacer a su manera, cada uno tiene su propio estándar, cada uno tiene sus normas, su propia manera de cablear, su propia manera de etiquetar, a lo mejor utiliza una simbología que no es la del estándar. Entonces eso lo que va haciendo es de que vayan surgiendo distintas normas, distintos estándares dentro de una compañía incluso. Y lo que buscamos es que exista un estándar de la plantilla que sea reutilizable, que digamos, esta es la norma europea y esta es la norma americana. quiero que la plantilla norteamericana tenga esta estructura, que tenga este método, que esté desglosada y organizada de tal manera que sea mucho más fácil la lectura para mi cliente, que tenga lo de potencia arriba, lo de control, que tenga los tableros, y cada uno de los tableros me dé la documentación de información técnica, de información de librerías, de información de listas de materiales, de etiquetados, de perforaciones, etc. Ese tipo de detalles que son personalizados, esos reportes se platican también en el assessment para que nosotros hagamos ese tipo de reportes. Incluso podemos tomar el proyecto completo, que nos digan, quiero que me hagas ese estándar, y ya les entregamos una plantilla ya hecha, ya con todas las configuraciones, ya con todo lo predefinido, para que ustedes nada más tengan que empezar a arrastrar y soltar los nuevos componentes para su tablero, ¿no? Entonces, eso también lo podemos hacer. Y este es parte de un ejemplo que hicimos con un cliente, en el cual le definimos las etapas. Aquí ustedes ven en color rojo lo que nos correspondía a nosotros hacer y lo que le correspondía al cliente hacer al final de la entrega, ¿no? El primer paso, como ya mencionamos, era definir el estándar, definir el assessment, creación de las ingenierías típicas, y el cliente, bueno, ya se iba a encargar de utilizarlo dentro de la compañía. Se hizo un proyecto piloto y, bueno, al final también lo que acordamos con este cliente final es de que se iba a estandarizar con sus proveedores también. Así es como nosotros hemos estado entrando con las distintas empresas que son integradoras, perdón, que son usuarios finales, OEMs, para que a sus integradores les pidan en formato Eplan. Esto para que también el usuario final tenga el beneficio de que van a estar estandarizadas sus ingenierías independientemente del integrador que le toque, sino que ya especificamos el estándar con el cliente final, y el cliente final dice, quiero quiero que sea mi estándar, esta va a ser la versión, así quiero que me entregue la ingeniería. ¿Por qué? Porque así garantiza que cualquier proyecto que ellos reciban de sus miles de proveedores sean siempre estandarizados y ellos tengan la facilidad de leer todo lo que constituye el proyecto, y que no cada uno lo haga a su manera, sino que tenga una estructura en el proyecto, ¿no? Que tenga una nomenclatura, que tenga un estándar. Entonces eso se les comparte a los proveedores y ellos empiezan a hacer ingeniería. Entonces eso es una etapa también de estandarización. Y eso se puede hacer tanto como empresas grandes, como usuarios finales, o también se puede hacer dentro de empresas de integradoras o casas de ingeniería, que ustedes digan, quiero tener dos estándares, uno norteamericano, uno europeo, y que dentro de esos estándares ya venga mi proceso bien definido para que yo entregue a mi cliente de esta manera, ¿no? Nos acoplamos a lo que, nos adaptamos a lo que ustedes nos piden como estándar, y lo plasmamos en el software. La idea aquí es que de su conocimiento lo vaciemos en el software, y ahora sí el software por sí solo empiece a hacer todo automáticamente, todo lo referente al diseño de manera más eficiente, sin errores, que sea más reutilizable y que lo puedan visualizar distintos departamentos. Entonces eso básicamente es parte de lo que hacemos. Esta es la organización en cuanto en este proyecto, en este ejemplo de proyecto, y quién participó en este proyecto de estandarización. Y bueno, ahorita en este momento ya se concretó uno más de los que tenemos, y así es como hemos estado haciendo para poder estandarizar nuestros procesos con nuestros clientes finales y también con nuestros integradores, ¿verdad? Entonces, básicamente esto es lo que tenemos preparado, un plan de implementación. Como podrán ver, por sí solo el software pues tiene mil y un funciones, ¿no? Lo importante aquí es dedicarle el tiempo para que pueda ser realmente utilizable, reutilizable, que pueda sacarle el mayor provecho, porque ¿qué pasa cuando nada más se adquiere el software y nada más se adquiere el curso básico y dejamos ahí al cliente que haga su propio estándar y empieza a lo mejor a meterle mano a otro ingeniero y empezamos a mezclar información y se empieza a desviar el tema principal del software, que es estandarizar las ingenierías? Entonces, eso es vital para poder sacarle el mayor jugo al software. La inversión que ustedes hicieron inicialmente es propiamente de la herramienta, pero digamos, nosotros recomendamos que se tenga un plan adecuado con cada uno de ustedes. Si ustedes están abiertos a que podamos entablar una charla, que nos platiquen su proyecto, que nos platiquen de qué es lo que ustedes quisieran mejorar, podemos hacer un plan de implementación para que vean a qué nivel puede llegar la parte del ahorro de los tiempos, la parte del ahorro de los costos. Incluso estamos considerando ahorros de hasta un 80% en cuanto a tiempos de diseño y tiempos de ensamble, ya en conjunto. Y aparte del valor agregado que le damos al cliente con la información que ya hay en la nube, ¿no? Entonces, de esta manera hacemos más productiva la información. Y bueno, básicamente es lo que tenemos preparado en este momento, que sepan que existe un plan de implementación, que existen los expertos, que está bien respaldado con nuestros especialistas aquí en México y en Latinoamérica. Juan Carlos como líder de la parte de servicios, a su cargo están distintos consultores que les pueden apoyar para ello, ¿no?
Muchas gracias a todos y bueno, espero que tengan una buena tarde.
Gracias nuevamente, que tengan buena tarde.
Muchas gracias por su participación el día de hoy. Esperamos que esta conferencia haya sido de gran valor para ustedes. Recuerden que estaremos disponibles en los chats para responder cualquier duda o pregunta que pueda surgir y les invitamos nuevamente a pasarse por el stand de Eplan para revisar todo el contenido que tenemos preparado. Gracias y que tengan excelente evento.
eBuild is the latest cloud-based solution of ePulse, which is available to all users of Eplan Electric P8 or Fluid from version 2.8 onwards. With eBuild you have access to predefined libraries and you can generate complete schematics with just a few clicks. The easy-to-use interface and the selection of options takes you directly to the complete schematics. Eplan enables guided engineering. eBuild is for free, easy to use, it increases your quality, it saves time and it reduces your errors. Once you have registered for ePulse, you can enter eBuild directly through the Eplan Electric P8 or Fluid user interface. eBuild supports you in your daily work and helps you to get more time for the exciting engineering tasks. Just give it a try.
Engineering is going through a real revolution. Cloud computing, the Internet of Things, and data integration have a huge impact on industrial production systems. An efficient exchange of digital data between the different engineering phases is necessary to prevent disruption. If you want to work efficiently, you must think in an integrated way. That starts in the concept phase. Thanks to the digitization and modularization of engineering data, you can immediately start with conceptual design. This smart customization ensures substantial time savings, better estimable offers, and sharper delivery times. Smart engineering stands for a smart connection of electrical, mechanical, and software data. Thanks to one virtual prototype, everyone speaks the same language. It opens the door to smart production. The digital twin with 3D info and other smart data ensures smooth communication between man and machine. The better and more accessible information is built up in the concept, engineering and production phases, the less time you'll lose later on in case of downtime. You can also store everything in the cloud, so everyone has direct access to the right digital data at any given time. It's crystal clear. Working in an integrated way creates added value, shortens the lead time of your projects, and reduces downtime in case of a breakdown. This way you create a great added value for your product. Do you want to know how you can do this? The different solutions within the Eplan platform support you towards an integrated engineering and production process. Your digital transformation with Eplan.
Digital data has become a primary focus for product development and production, with manual and automated processes of panel building. Having standardized and digitally provided data is becoming a necessity. User errors are expensive, and implementing the correct set of wiring can be tedious and oftentimes daunting. With the help of virtual prototyping, access to creating a digital footprint of wiring is now possible. From the connections to the best routing path, Eplan Smart Wiring creates a virtual layout that provides shop floors with all the necessary information in a 3D digital format. Data can be passed along to different departments seamlessly. Whether it's a manual or fixed installation, wiring information is available to the design department via email. What else can smart wiring do? With the help of a smart device, you can access Eplan Smart Wiring and receive detailed step-by-step instructions for easy implementation. Wiring can be completed without schematics or layouts, and connections can be recorded using the traffic light principle. In addition to creating a transparent guideline, smart wiring also helps avoid mistakes in real time. By running an automatic project comparison, last-minute changes are now possible. Using Eplan Pro Panel, Smart Wiring and eView will give you a 45% time savings in wire preparation and project completion. To learn more about how to save on cost and time through automation, visit us at info.eplanusa.com/wiring 4.0.
Hello, my name's Jeff Kilburn. I'm the Managing Director for Eplan USA, here to give you a quick glance of Eplan software and service. Eplan, along with their sister company Rital, are part of the Friedhelm Loh Group, $2.6 billion company with over 12,000 employees worldwide. Eplan itself has 1,100 employees across the world, with 58,000 customers using 190,000 Eplan software licenses every day to execute their electrical engineering solutions. Eplan offers a platform of solutions for multiple disciplines that all sit on top of a common data model that then resides in what we call the Eplan project. And this is where the power of and value of the solution is derived. At Eplan, we talk about an ecosystem of industrial automation. This consists of 4 different and distinct business types. There's, of course, the end use or the operator that's putting the automation solution into use. There are the OEMs and system integrators who build the machines and pull it all together for that end use application. Someone, of course, has to build the electrical panels. So that's a business type. Sometimes the OEMs and integrators do it themselves, but also it's sometimes a separate entity. But it's certainly part of the solution. And last but not least, it really all starts there, the end use operator usually selects a line of components to base their solution on. And so when people execute an automation solution today, at least in the United States, there's a lot of handoffs that happen. And I think this is the case globally, but more than ever here in the United States, we see a lot of disjointed handoffs in the way of drawings and spreadsheets and things like this. And that's an opportunity for errors and inefficiencies. And this is the value that we provide to all of the pieces of the what we call the ecosystem of industrial automation. So, usually it starts with an operator that puts together a specification that includes some of the component manufacturer's parts. They do some planning around what they need and what kind of solutions they're going to look for, and they usually have partners in form of OEMs and system integrators or solution providers that then are asked to give them quotations. And this is where the first step of the Eplan project really starts to deliver value. The operator can pass that specification not on paper or in an electronic form like a PDF, but in a data form in terms of an Eplan project, and communicate that to their partners in the market, who then can do some basic level work within our platform, and then in terms of basic engineering required to develop a quotation for a machine or an integration solution. And that's one handoff that is seamless and has a continuity of data, or a data thread, if you will. Of course, once the orders are placed with the OEMs and integrators, they have to do all the detailed engineering work, and that's the efficiencies gained by having all of that information pass through start to help, but also all of the data that came from the component manufacturers. So Eplan has all of these manufacturers in a cloud-based location called the Eplan Data Portal, and all that data can now flow into the detailed engineering to help with things like thermal calculations to see if you need a fan or an AC unit on the cabinet that needs to be built, to lay out the wires, and maybe even go so far as to automate the fabrication of the panel with the cutouts in the door for the HMI, and the holes drilled in the back panel for the components to mount. The wires themselves can be with the data that's coming and available in the Eplan platform and coming from the components from the component manufacturer. You can automate in the fabrication of the wire. We have our sister company Rital's machines that cut, strip, crimp, and mark the wire, and the efficiencies are enormous for the people actually building the panel. And that can be an OEM, an integrator, or a separate company, but someone, of course, then has to source all those components, build the panel, and again, instead of a handoff of a different spreadsheet or evaluation of a set of drawings, it can be all put into the Eplan project and shared again with the different players in the ecosystem. And then, of course, once all the electrical equipment's built, it has to be installed and commissioned, and then, of course, put into operation. And there's always a desire to and an effort made to do as-built documentation. But now in the commissioning and runtime and operation phase, Eplan has cloud-based tools that allow you to maintain that project and have as maintained documentation for your automation solution, which delivers another round of value to the end use at the operator level during the runtime of their facility or their assembly line or whatever happens to be. And we have customers all over the globe doing this in all different industries, from marine to automotive to oil and gas. And every day we interface with those customers. We, of course, provide our software platform that enables it. But more so than anything, we can share the experiences we have across the world on best practices and help every different discipline or company that's involved in this ecosystem of industrial automation achieve their own values, but even maybe more importantly for some, to show that value to their customers and to differentiate themselves. So this is what we do every day. We do have a long-term strategy to create more and more a digital, even a cloud-based, digitally connected system to increase the efficiencies. That, of course, involves our software and the data behind it, but all putting it into a digital platform. And our goal is to be ready for our customers when they're ready to move to the cloud. And that will, of course, will happen over time. We're hard at work at it, and we hope to lead our customers and ourselves to operational excellence as we move toward that new solution that we believe the cloud is the future. And so that's Eplan software and service at a glance. I hope that helped explain a few things, but if you would like to interface with us, we're always available, and look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.
Hola, mi nombre es René Knopfel, soy el Technical Business Manager de Eplan Estados Unidos, y a continuación les presentaré una introducción a Eplan Software and Service. Eplan pertenece junto a su compañía hermana Rital, es parte del Freedom Law Group, un grupo con más de 2.6 billones de euros en ingresos anuales a nivel mundial. Por su parte, Eplan cuenta con más de 1.100 empleados presentes en 50 países y con una red de clientes que sobrepasan los 58.000, con más de 190.000 licencias en uso para el desarrollo de soluciones de ingeniería eléctrica y de automatización. Eplan ofrece una gama de soluciones tecnológicas desarrolladas todas bajo una base de datos en común, la plataforma de Eplan. Y estos datos se almacenan todos bajo un mismo proyecto, el proyecto de Eplan. Y es aquí donde radica la ventaja y el valor de nuestras soluciones. Permítame explicarle. Nos enfocamos en lo que llamamos el ecosistema de automatización industrial. Nuestros clientes varían desde los usuarios finales o end users, los fabricantes de equipos originales o OEMs, los integradores de sistemas, los fabricantes de armarios y los fabricantes de componentes. Una realidad que la manera como cada uno de estos actores almacenan y distribuyen la información es a través de hojas de cálculo, a través de bocetos, a través de planos, lo que aumenta la probabilidad de errores y de ineficiencias en el proceso. Esto ocurre no solamente dentro de los distintos tipos de empresas ya nombrados, sino también cuando estas empresas tienen que colaborar entre sí. Y aquí Eplan cumple un valor fundamental. Normalmente el proceso comienza cuando el usuario final, el end user, está en su etapa de planificación y en búsqueda de una solución en el mercado. Él define un conjunto de especificaciones, él define los componentes que se van a utilizar, incluso los fabricantes que se van a utilizar. Después tiene una red de partners en el mercado donde puede buscar distintos tipos de ofertas. Los partners reciben una petición de oferta. En este proceso, este primer paso, es donde el proyecto de Eplan empieza a añadir valor. El usuario, les explico, el usuario final puede pasar el conjunto de especificaciones. Normalmente se pasa en papel o se pasa en formato PDF, pero en este caso puede pasar ese conjunto de especificaciones, ese conjunto de componentes, toda esa información recopilada al principio, la puede pasar en el proyecto de Eplan en una base de datos. El integrador de sistema o el fabricante de equipos originales puede tomar esta base de datos, puede proceder a hacer los distintos niveles de ingeniería básica necesarios para hacer una oferta. Y de esta forma minimizar, digamos, la pérdida de información por transferencia. Y a su vez se garantiza una continuidad de datos y a su vez alimentando el proyecto de Eplan con más y más información. Siguiente paso es, se gana el proyecto, ¿ya? Entonces los fabricantes de los OEMs, los fabricantes de equipos originales, ¿ya? Pasan a lo que llamamos la ingeniería de detalle. Y es aquí donde se obtiene aún, o se ve aún más el aumento de la eficiencia, dado que todos los datos ya almacenados por el usuario final y sobre todo los datos de los componentes se le presentan al ingeniero en una profundidad de datos que le va a ayudar con todas las especificaciones de su diseño. En el caso de Eplan, Eplan mantiene un catálogo digital en la nube, donde distintos tipos de fabricantes almacenan y mantienen los datos, no solo de la parte comercial, sino también datos necesarios para la ingeniería básica, para la ingeniería de detalles y para la fabricación o la instalación de los distintos tipos de componentes. Ejemplos, ¿cómo puede ayudar estos datos a un ingeniero? Si vamos a los ejemplos de las calculaciones térmicas, ¿ya? Para ver qué unidad de enfriamiento requiero en un armario. Estos datos los provee los componentes, estos datos ya están almacenados en el proyecto y el ingeniero al momento de crear el prototipo en 3D del armario ya puede verificar si está cumpliendo con las reglas de distancias especificadas por el proveedor. Asimismo, puede determinar si las conexiones, el tipo de conexiones o los cables elegidos son soportados por el componente, son los recomendados por el fabricante, e incluso puede llegar a mandar esta información, digamos, una vez que ya se tenga el armario listo en su formato digital, puede mandar esta información a una máquina de CNC para, por ejemplo, hacer las escotaduras para la interfaz HMI, la interfaz hombre-máquina. Se le presenta la información de la ubicación de los orificios de perforación y puede incluso obtener la longitud exacta de los cables, la terminación de los cables. Existen máquinas como la que oferta nuestra compañía hermana Rital, que le permite cortar, aislar, engarzar y marcar los cables. Y toda esta información ya está contenida en el proyecto de Eplan. En caso, por ejemplo, no todos los OEMs hacen el diseño o la fabricación de los armarios, ¿no? En caso de que, por ejemplo, se subcontrate la fabricación del armario, en vez de pasar la información a través de fotos, a través de bocetos, se pasa simplemente el prototipo virtual del armario con toda esta información, con la información relevante para la parte de fabricación, y de esta forma agilizar las operaciones del subcontratista. Y seguimos hablando del mismo proyecto de Eplan del que empezamos con este ejemplo. Naturalmente, una vez que ya el operador haya recibido la solución y la haya instalado, la hayan puesto en marcha, obtiene el operador una documentación que llamaríamos as design, y empieza el ciclo de vida de, digamos, la línea de ensamblaje. Durante este ciclo de vida hay mantenimientos que se realizan, hay reemplazos de componentes, reemplazos de sistemas que se realizan, y Eplan ofrece una cantidad de aplicaciones que le permiten al ingeniero de mantenimiento siempre mantener los datos y la documentación que está disponible en el proyecto de Eplan up to date. De esta forma no solo se tiene los datos o los planos as built, pero también se tienen los datos as maintained. Siempre se tienen los datos actuales. Tenemos clientes alrededor del mundo trabajando de esta forma, desde el sector automotriz, desde oil and gas, en el sector de energía, y todos los días ofrecemos no solo la tecnología, sino también los best practices que hemos acumulado en nuestros 36 años de experiencia. En Eplan también tenemos una estrategia a largo plazo de continuar innovando, continuar haciendo que el ecosistema sea cada vez más eficiente y permitirle a sus actores diferenciarse por medio de las ventajas que se encuentran hoy en día disponibles con la digitalización en ingeniería. Espero le haya resultado informativo este video. Estamos siempre disponibles en las redes sociales, en todos los distintos canales, y de esta forma me despido. Muchas gracias.
I am Van Miller, Value Chain Consultant with Eplan Software and Services. We hope you're enjoying your time today at the Rockwell Automation Fair at Home. I will be presenting some opportunities for automating your control panel shop manufacturing processes as realized through our advanced engineering and 3D design software. If you have questions during the presentation, please feel free to enter those into the chat box and we will get to those right away. Again, we hope you enjoy your time at the fair, and let's get started. I have been involved with control panel manufacturing and working with panel builders in terms of shop floor automation and connectivity to the engineering process. So I was with Rittal about 5 years previous to coming on board with Eplan, and my pleasure to have you all here with me today. So let's go ahead and get started. So by this point, I'm sure you've run across our infinity loop here, which is a representation of the customer's value chain and where we bring solutions to help our customers improve their processes. So today, we really want to be focusing on the manufacturing floor, and we'll step through some of the items shown here. We're going to concentrate on some of the processes which really benefit from automation and create the largest impact to your manufacturing space. So before we get started with that, just wanted to throw out this slide, which is talking about the concerns that most panel builders that I interact with have when they're coming to talk to Eplan and RAS about their shop and how they're working today. And we see the biggest pressure coming from increasing prices, shortage of skilled labor. I mean, certainly before the COVID-19 pandemic, this was a very large topic with a lot of customers over the last couple of years, not being able to find good resources for panel builders out on the floor as well as engineers up front. But then also, there's that all everlasting pressure to reduce delivery times to the end customers. And many customers recognize that there are inefficient workflows and quality issues on the floor and are looking for ways to address those. So just wanted to take a look at what I see as the kind of current state of a lot of panel manufacturers throughout the United States. I believe over the last 13, 14 years, I have probably been inside of close to 500 panel shops, both here and abroad. And these are all common attributes that I see. So a lot of customers are working on an engineering to order basis, meaning that they're taking existing engineering documentation and then manually modifying it. So they'll find a project that looks very similar to what they're going to be building, and they start from there. But the problem is often this will actually carry forward embedded errors. Also, it's long quoting cycles involved with this type of engineering. Often the engineering department has a decent backlog and has a lot of pressure on it. So this is a continual pressure. Documentation revision management is constantly a theme. Just making sure that all the associated documents and data are revised when like an older project is brought up and revised for a new job. Also on the order to remittance side, so managing data between the design group, purchasing folks, and the manufacturing people is, it's time intensive, making sure that all of the correct, documentation is on the floor at the correct revision level. And once the project goes out to the customer, just ensuring that the as-built documentation is also correct. And then, a couple of years down the line, perhaps the customer is calling for replacement components or assistance with a unit that's down. That aftermarket support is incredibly important. So, we are looking at that as, kind of challenges that our customers face today. Then out on the production floor, just a couple of examples of where we see the biggest buckets in terms of time consumption, where the panel build is really taking a lot of time. One being the enclosure and back panel modification. So talking about the layout of all the components on the back panel or on the enclosure, marking out all the hole locations and hardware requirements, center punching. And this is once all the components have been taken back off the panel, center punching, drilling, tapping, all of those holes, and then the cutouts, certainly in the enclosure body itself, often for filters, fans, HMIs, that type of thing. Those areas need to be marked and taped off before they're machined. Wire processing, certainly the largest bucket out there typically. We see somewhere between 50–60% of the time a panel spends on the floor in wire processing. So schematic reading and marking, so this is often how people are working through and wiring the panel. So it's a slower process. So hand cutting the wire off of spools, stripping wire, crimping, labeling, and then finally, landing that conductor in the control panel. So all of these tasks are currently very manual in most panel shops throughout the country. What we are going to be showing you today is how we can really leverage the information, the data coming out of Eplan software in a virtual environment and drive that information directly out onto the panel shop so that we have a one-for-one instruction on how that panel should be built. And so looking at the automation in the engineering department itself, I mean, by this point, you've probably seen some demonstrations on Eplan's capability and a lot of the automation that it brings to the mundane daily tasks that engineers encounter. So, but of course, the data quality is very highly maintained between all documents and reports. Lower overall engineering costs through this type of automation, just getting the design done faster, and as I said, eliminating a lot of those mundane tasks. So, and of course, once the project is complete, we can send that data out to the manufacturing floor. Which will assist with visualization of like the 3D engineering, being able to make sure that we don't have interferences and making sure that the panel is laid out correctly before going out to the floor. Wire routing and data for advanced wire processing systems, we'll be looking at that, as well as the data required for CNC machines for modifying enclosures and back panels. And outside of those, those steps we can also help automate and streamline DIN rail and wire track kitting, automated terminal block assembly should your company use a lot of terminal blocks in the production, all the required label printing and kitting requirements for the panels, and then just showing a method of paperless panel wiring. So really trying to get the paper off the floor and work in a more digital environment. And I just wanted to mention a couple of overall benefits, in my view, to database-driven engineering. So this is really, an architecture for an engineering platform in Eplan, which is different than most customers are working with today. And that is that, we've got a component article database foundation underneath the software, which allows us to drive a lot of design variations once we have those components in our database. Components can be used together with intelligent schematic macros, which then can be saved and reused and drive further efficiency, so that we're creating large chunks of circuitry inside of the panel design and can save those and reuse them. One really important piece here, I think, is that all the component information is stored in one place, which avoids maintaining data in several different places in the company, formats and locations. In some cases, you'll see a project at a panel shop where the schematics maybe are done in CAD, but the bill of materials is over here in Excel, and then we've got maybe a Word document that talks about the P&ID, etc. So you get the idea that there can be several different pieces of information that all belong to the same project. And just to state here that each component is also carrying with all the critical data that we need for subsequent manufacturing automation. So the technologies we're going to be talking about, and we can carry, of course, with that component 2D, 3D dimensions, electrical functions and properties, mounting requirements for mounting that component on the panel, as well as wiring connection points, which we will see is very important. Just a quick note here. I think everybody recognizes this, but I think it's worth mentioning that the cost of errors. Certainly, the earlier on we catch errors, preferably in the engineering department, the better, because they're less expensive at that point. Of course, the further down the manufacturing process the panel goes, the more expensive that gets. You get into testing that can be very detrimental. But certainly think about a panel being out at a customer site with a problem. Of course that increases the cost several. So so the technology that we really are going to be concentrating on today are going to be the piece of equipment that we see here, and showing how the Eplan platform can drive data directly out to these machines. So having the advantages of eliminating human input errors, really just changes are being done in one system only. So it's not difficult to keep track of revisions and say engineering change orders out on the floor. So data for automation of processing enclosures, back panels, wire ducts, DIN rails, wire conductors, and terminal block assemblies. I mean, even right down to the printed labels for device IDs and things like that. So the first piece I wanted to address today was, at the beginning of the process, which is enclosure and mounting panel modification. So as Rittal Automation Systems and Eplan, we're showing you today the Perforex machining centers. So we have two different options here, depending on the production mix that the customer has. The first unit is the RAF2020. This is essentially a piece of equipment specifically designed for panel builders to modify enclosures and back panels, and it employs a mechanical end mill to do the cutouts of things like filters and fans. So both of these machines can drill, tap, and cut out larger openings in the material, and we can work on any surface of an enclosure, say a 3D welded block box. Both machines are fully capable of that. Essentially, we can work in all sorts of materials, whether it's steel, stainless steel, aluminum, plastic, Lexan, fiberglass, copper bus bar, etc. So most of the materials that you encounter as a panel builder. And both machines offer roughly 85% of total labor cost savings. So we're dropping 85% of the time out of what customers typically require for panel layout and machining. Like any automated process, we can expect improved quality with no rework of those enclosures that you're buying that are expensive. And also we offer the opportunity of reducing potential inventory of pre-customized enclosures or long lead times that may incur from panel manufacturers, I should say enclosure manufacturers to you. So, really being able to take stock enclosures directly off the shelf and modify them directly for your job's needs. And really important point here, going back to the shortage of labor, is being able to use existing labor resources on the floor for much more value-added activities such as panel wiring and testing. So, I was just going to, at this point, pop up a couple of videos, just to give you some visual idea of the Perforex machine. So hopefully you can see that okay. And so this is the Perforex BC unit. So this is the mechanical end mill machine. And let's see. The Perforex is vertically constructed. So we were actually putting workpieces on vertically instead of horizontally, like you see like a lot of CNC machines out in the world. All of the clamping and standoffs for the workpiece are specifically designed to not scratch and mar the surface, whether it's painted steel or carbon, stainless steel, etc. So very simple operation. And what we'll see here is the machine is picking up 1 out of 20 tools on the left-hand side out of the magazine and processing the panel according to the data. And we are seeing a drilling process here. We'll also see a bit of tapping, and then later on some of the mechanical end milling with this machine. We do check all the tools before we put them away, and we incorporate some other technologies with the machine, such as a pressure plate system, which you'll see in a second, which is actually stabilizing the material here, with these all directional red wheels. And while it's doing the cutout, and just a note, what looks to be burrs there are actually just the paint of the enclosure, so they're easily removed. She's removing basically a large piece of metal right now. We just wanted to get rid of that by hand and not have it free fall. But the machine will come back and clean up those retention tabs that had kept that piece of metal in place. And as you see here, she's just removing the paint from the cut. So, so not only can we work on a flat part across the entire surface of the machine, but as we'll see in a second, we can also load a three-dimensional cubicle, and that's done by opening this door here and just loading, say, like a wall mount box, like Ellie will be grabbing in a second. And so the 0 points on the machine are hard mechanical 0 points, and we see the motorized depth and control bringing the workpiece up to the 0 point in the Z-axis. Here, all of the clamping systems are very simple and easy to use. So we use Festo pneumatics to really grab onto that workpiece and hold it stable during the machining process. So I think that gives you a pretty good overview of what the machine is doing. And of course, that enclosure can be rotated to work on any further sides that are needed. And so let's see here. Just need to grab the next video then. And we'll just get a quick look at the laser. So the Perforex laser, at the end of the day, it's performing the same function. Essentially, the Perforex LC, is really designed with the idea of being able to machine stainless steel much faster. So just to give you an idea, it's about a 10-to-1 ratio in terms of speed on the Perforex BC machine, where we're cutting at about 1.2 meters a minute in the XY axes. But on this machine, it's a 1-for-1. Whether we're working in painted carbon steel or in stainless steel, the machine is still cutting at about 1.2 meters a minute. It's not the fastest laser in the world, and that's not the point. I mean, all of the parameters for this machine are really set exactly to not blacken or bubble up the paint, so we're not creating so much heat like you would with other CO2 or larger fiber laser processes. But still, certainly this is much faster than doing anything by hand, and the cut quality and precision is excellent. So just as a demonstration here, Ellie is going to throw in a stainless steel box, and I'll just kind of fast forward a little bit to that position. So that you can see here, the laser is cutting at the same speed as it was with the carbon steel product. And as you'll see, there's no oxidation, browning of the stainless steel. Customers are often very particular about the quality of the cuts and making sure that the surface is not marred. This is a very unique laser in that it can deposit the, or it can pick up, I'm sorry, like a spindle for tapping as well. So we can fully laser drill and then come back and tap out, say, a back panel. So a fully functional Perforex machine, very similar to the last piece we saw. Okay, let me just jump back into the presentation here quickly. Moving on, we also, once we have the data out of Eplan for all of the cuts and especially the capped and drilled holes in the mounting panel, we then also already have the information required for the DIN rail and wire track, which tends to be responsible for a large proportion of the holes made in a mounting panel. And so the SecRef machine is really a great piece for, it's complementary to that whole process. So, in itself, the machine can be used to optimize the cutting of standard 2 and 3 meter lengths of DIN rail and wire track, and optimize that over several jobs so that we, have the least amount of waste possible. But really where the savings come here is the hand measuring, the walking back and forth to some centralized cutting system on the floor, and piece by piece having to walk back and forth after each cut is made, measuring again and going back to, say, a cutting position on the floor. So I'll just show a very quick I'll finish off here just quickly. There is a machine also that we have for cutting DIN rail, but this piece of equipment, the Otex, actually also will laser scribe terminal block labels, like the little markers or chiclets on terminal blocks, and then assemble those terminal blocks onto the DIN rail. So you're creating an entire terminal block DIN rail assembly with this piece of equipment. And as I said, there are fewer customers out there that really have the volume of terminal block purchasing and use that might really utilize this machine. But we're just showing it to explain that we have a very wide offering to panel builders in terms of automating their processes. So I will just jump back to actually, there was one other video I was going to show you. This is just a very quick video of so the export process out of Eplan ProPanel 3D to the Perforex machine. So we're just showing what this looks like. So we select the piece of equipment we want to export to, say okay, and shows we've got a lot of cutouts and drilled holes to make in this cabinet. So this is actually the interface software for the Perforex machine, and it was exported directly to the database and imported automatically. So we just go down, we find our trade show order here, and when we open that up, we can see the programming for each side of that enclosure. So whether it's the filters, fans on the side, the connectors, the door, the mounting panel, etc. Even right down to the gland plate. So when we go back and we look at the panel in 3D, of course, we can see all of those features on the enclosure itself and where the mounting was taking place on the mounting panel. And I believe at this point I flipped it around, and we'll just turn on the drilling view so you can see that it exactly resembles the drilling pattern that was sent to the machine itself. So, okay. So then, just wanted to move on to a very quick video about the SecRef machine as well. So this is the machine for DIN rail and wire cutting optimization. And of course, like I said before, all the information we need to make these cuts and kit them together was provided to us through Eplan and through the Perforex software database. So this machine is connected to the Perforex, or can be. And here, we're trying to automate as much as possible the cutting of these materials. So you can see the backstop moves away so that it's easily removable. And so those are safety buttons. That is an open blade there. So we have safety buttons. And then we also produce like a label which talks about the job name, the length of the material, and also the XY position on the mounting panel so that the person doing the assembly does that as quickly as possible. And of course, the same unit can do cut the DIN rail to length. We have 5 different profiles for different types of DIN rail here. 7.5, 15, and C channel, etc. And then just while we have that that large surface on the top, we decided to use the rest of the area underneath the machine to store tools, documentation, and also stock of DIN rail track covers and DIN rail wire track and covers. Okay. So go ahead and get back to the presentation here. Now, this is really the heart of the discussion that I wanted to talk about, and this is wire processing. So, the one unique thing about designing in 3D is the fact that we now have the opportunity to determine internal wire length, internal conductors inside the control panel. And once we have wire length, then we are able to really take advantage of that information to drive the automation of wire production ahead of time. And so we do have a couple of different routes here. I mean, we do have semi-automated equipment for customers that have lower volumes or certain specific needs for wire cutting, stripping, or strip crimping, for ferrules, whether they're loose piece or they're real fed. But the piece I really want to talk today about, is the automated wire processing solution, the wire terminal. And so this machine, is really going to be driven off of, like I said, the 3D data. And and I'd like to talk about the value of wire length information a little bit here before we take a look at that video. So Eplan software, as I mentioned, can provide that 3D data, but also just a couple of additional real strong benefits here would be, being able to look at thermal dissipation requirements and spacing, for climate control requirements inside the panel. So where's the best location for the climate control? Making sure the components are spaced properly so that they can get rid of their heat, and at the same time not interfering with each other or potentially interfering with the door when it's closing. So intelligent wire routing. So we're saying here that we can maintain voltage separation for control voltage versus power voltage, as well as keeping a close eye on duct fill limits. So if we are starting to overfill a duct, we can send it down another route to its destination. And of course, the accurate mounting hole locations for the panels and cutout locations. We've already talked about that, but just to move on here a little bit, and talk about what it actually means to be able to know what the wire length is. So when we were talking at the beginning about the manual process, these are all the steps that we talked about, the reading off of a schematic, stripping, crimping, marking, wire routing, and then doing all of those processes on the other end of the wire. So we've done a lot of time studies, and I've certainly done some myself. If a wireman is able to land a wire every 3 minutes, that person is really moving quickly. So we're using a pretty conservative number here, but often, customers will state that probably it's closer to an average of 5 minutes. But utilizing some of our semi-automated equipment, we can start to reduce that time, significantly. Bring it down to 85 seconds or even 65 seconds. But if we really go to a fully truly automated solution, like the wire terminal machine, we're bringing that time down to 45 seconds. And that means landing a wire every 45 seconds at the wire station. And let's just take a look at, what we do with that wire. So as you'll see in the video, the wire is actually produced exactly in the sequence that Eplan told us to produce it in. And that matches up 1-for-1 with Eplan's solution for shop floor wiring, which is the smart wiring interface. And so this is a tablet or a touchscreen based application, which really very clearly defines to the person doing the wiring how the panel needs to be wired and wired correctly. So, this has got some pretty strong advantages to it. The person doing the wiring no longer needs to actually, let's say, know how to read schematics, for instance. So that opens up the potential labor pool quite a bit when you're just training people on how to correctly land wires and use these types of electronic interface tools. But really, we're guaranteeing the optimum processing order, during that operation, and just really trying to make the working method as efficient as possible. And so what does that look like? I mean, when we really, of course, that piece of equipment, has a cost to it. So how do we justify buying that as a panel shop? And here's the answer. So very straightforward calculator math. We looked at our 3 minutes and seconds, so the 45 minutes that we, can land that same wire with a pre-processed piece of wire, the delta being 135 seconds. If that panel had 500 wires, that means we've got over 67,000 seconds. And I just showed minutes, and then coming down to almost 19 hours of reduction of time of that panel on the floor. So if we multiply that times a $35 loaded labor rate on the floor, that means $656 per panel. And if a shop is doing, for instance, 500 panels a year, that's coming out to $328,000 that they can put towards, not only the investment of the equipment, but also the software to get here in the first place. So, so that's just a very quick, brief overview. And I realize I'm starting to run out of time, but I would like to, at this point, just show you one last video of the wire terminal machine. This should give you a pretty good idea of the process that we're talking about. So, just in general, we really tried to make this machine as small in terms of footprint as possible. We know that panel shops don't have a lot of floor space out there. Typically, when they're busy, they have none. So we really wanted to try and keep the machine as vertical and small footprint as possible. But here we see, the data coming out of Eplan that can be sent directly to the machine. And in the back of the machine, you can see there's some wires leading to it. So we can have up to 36 different wire types being fed to the machine. So he's just going to be calling up the order for this particular job at this point, and he's just throwing some labels onto our wire rails where the wires are actually organized in sequence, and then you're able to take those out to the wire stations. Yeah, in any case, he'll get the machine fired up here in a second. The idea of, like I said, being that we're keeping the wires in a sequence that will then match up on the backside with an interface program like smart wiring. So we are ferrilizing all of the wires, or at least one end of the wire, to hold them in those wire rails that we saw earlier. So we're working with essentially anywhere from 20, to 12 gauge in this process. And as the wire is fed in through that area, the comb up front, we are inkjet printing the wire. So that means the to and from target source information, schematic wire number, etc., directly onto the wire, cutting it to length, and then stripping and crimping the ends automatically. So it's then handed off and then placed, as you see here, into the wire rails. And that's how we're maintaining that sequencing that is going to be very important later. So just wanted to give you a brief overview of what kind of automation we're talking about in terms of wire processing. So it's wire processing has been around for a long time, but having it fit really hand in glove with the engineering and also like a control panel production floor is really the magic here. In that we're making the entire process much more efficient. Using other types of wire processing systems may gain some efficiency, but never to that level. And just a couple of words about the Rittal enclosure designs, just so it's understood. That there's if you can imagine looking at the Perforex machine, using very large freestanding 3D welded enclosures can be very cumbersome when loading those onto the machine. Rittal does have a modular design where each of the sides of the freestanding enclosures are removable. So you're handling, say, a 40-pound piece of metal instead of a 600 or 700-pound piece of metal into the machine. All of the Rittal products are available in full 3D in the Eplan data portal. If you haven't heard about the data portal yet, I encourage you to take a look at that. Let's see. So just the design internally of the panels, even panels like wall mount boxes, are really well thought through, and we're maximizing the available space usage inside of an enclosure. The retherm technology, this is for determining the heat dissipation requirements of a panel, works hand in hand with Eplan Pro Panel to ensure that customers are not undersizing or oversizing the cooling equipment. Okay, so I am almost done. I'll take 2 more minutes here and just talk about just a benchmark project. I'm sure maybe you've already encountered this in your discussions with Eplan, but if you haven't, you probably will see this again. So we just took a look at a bunch of panel builders out in the world. We wanted to know what they estimated this type of panel would take them to build. And so, we have some characteristics here that we're showing of a control panel that we gave them. And they told us that it takes about 58 hours for them to build that panel. And so we looked at the offerings that we have for shop floor automation and, determined, through some of our semi-automated technology, we can get that number down to about 34 hours. And then, using some of our more advanced solutions like we've seen here, we can get that number all the way down to 24 hours. So driving a significant amount of time out of the panel build. And here's kind of what that looks like. So if we think about, the Perforex machine that's responsible for, some of these bars up here, if you were to add them together, they would be pretty much the second largest bar on the chart. But certainly you see the front runner here is wire fabrication and wire installation. So the wiring time essentially that is currently done manually versus how we can impact that through the process of correct engineering in 3D, automated wire processing, and then that smart wiring interface out on the shop floor. So. We do have customers not only in Europe and in Asia, but also right here in the United States that are employing these technologies today. This is here, this is happening. We realize every customer can't bite off on the entire solution, but we do have entry points where you can start having a very beneficial impact on how your company works today and start down that path. I really appreciate your time today. And again, my name is Van Miller. Please feel free to contact me. If you've got questions right now, that's great. If you'd like to contact me or my associates afterwards, please do so. We look forward to talking to you. So thank you again. Thank you again for your time. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Please be sure to stop by the Eplan Experience booth here at the Rockwell Automation Fair at home, and have a good day.
My name is Narelle Safi. I'm a technical consultant with Eplan Software and Services. We hope you are enjoying Rockwell Automation Fair at home. Today, I am going to show you how you can digitalize your control system with Eplan. Feel free to ask any question in the chat and we will get to those right away. Thanks again for joining us, and let's go ahead and get started.
This is digitalizing your control system, and we have Norel on the line. He's one of our application engineers, senior application engineer, and he's going to do this demo, this presentation for you. We also have Jennifer Payne, and her responsibility is our data portal and all the supplier information that's contained within that. I'll let Jennifer do a quick explanation of what the data portal entails, so you understand that before we get started with Norel on the demo. Thanks for coming.
Thank
Jennifer?
you, Roger.
Yeah.
Thank you. So as Roger just said, I am the business sales manager for Master Data. And so I am responsible for the data portal and working with manufacturers to join our digital catalog, where then we work with them to input their data, and we really work hard to achieve great data sets and depth of quality within the information we receive from them. And then that is uploaded onto the data portal, where then as a user, you're able to go in there and click and download the information into your projects. So I also work with we have a global team out of Germany, and currently we have over 300 suppliers on the data portal. We have recently launched our new EDS, what we call their Eplan data standards, again, to encourage our manufacturers to provide the best quality data on our portal. So we appreciate you joining our demonstration today, and I will hand it over to Norel so he can show you what our system entails. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Norel Safi. I'm an application engineer with Eplan. I have been with Eplan for 3 years, a little bit over 3 years now. My responsibility is to do consulting, trainings, and pre-sales activities with our sales. I am very glad today to show you a little bit about Eplan P8, more specific, and Eplan as a platform in general. So thank you for attending, and let's get started. All right, so this is Eplan. This is the Eplan platform as a whole. If you take a look at the top right here, Eplan, you're probably familiar with some of Eplan menus, since Eplan is written on a common Windows tool. So for example, some of these menus, for example, cut, copy, paste, and the shortcut that comes with it, it's a standard as a window standard. Also, Eplan has its own shortcut and toolbars. So if you take a look, there's plenty of toolbars that's available when you install Eplan, and also you can customize your own toolbars to make your design process more easy and more efficient. All right. You could put your toolbars here on the top to make it easy, or on the sides. This is all based on your preference. Now, Eplan is a database-driven system. You don't have to do any database management. However, this is just an information for you to tell you that the entire project is set up as a database at its core, and all the documents inside your project are connected together as one database. Think of it as an PowerPoint slide. So when I go ahead here and open one of my documents, so for example, the title page or the cover sheet, I'm not opening an outside file. I'm just opening this page inside my project, and I can easily navigate between my pages. Yeah, that saves me time and less errors and mistakes. So for example, here I have my title page. Another benefit of having the project as a one database is one source of entry. So I can put the information in one spot, and that information will distribute it on the entire project. So if we take a look at this example, for example, I'm going to change the company name here. Call this Eplan. You can see that the changes took effect here on the top right away, and also at the bottom you can see here the company name changed. At any page that I open right now, these changes will be, or this update will take effect on that page. Now, as a user or as an engineer, you can start your design from any data that you have. So in Eplan, there's 3 ways of designing by the symbol, designing by the device, and designing by predefined circuit. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead right here and just create a new page. So as you can see, Eplan automatically recognizes what's the next available page in there. I still have the possibility to go ahead and change that page number. So anywhere I can click here, it can tell me what is the next available one in that section. So I can go ahead, for example, and select here and say new. You can see that page 64 is the next available one in that section, or what's below it. I'm going to go ahead and give it a description. So I'm going to call this motors. Press OK. And here you can see it's a brand new page. The information that we entered at the beginning is still there. Yeah, and it will continue to be there the more we build on into this project. Just like I mentioned, engineer could start from any data that they have or any information that they have. If they decide to design by the symbol, since they don't know the part or the number or the device that they're going to assign at the moment, they could do that. If I go insert symbol in the top, you can see all these symbol libraries that Eplan provide you with. These symbol libraries, you don't have to customize, you don't have to maintain. These comes with Eplan, and it get updated every version installed. So with every new version, there's could be some new symbols. Eplan will keep maintaining this to make it as easy as possible on the engineers to start their design. You can see it serves several standards. So here I can see the NFPA symbols in inches. I can see NFPA symbols in millimeters. I can see the IEC standard, which is the European standard symbol, graphic symbol libraries, and special symbol library. So let's say I want to design a motor circuit. Yeah? I'm going to go ahead and go to my power consumer. And as you can see, it's very well organized. I will not get lost in menus or search bars. All I need to do is think about the symbol that I need to place, and I can easily target it. You can see here's the motor circuit, more motor sections, and you can see it's even filtered based on the connection points that's in that motor. So if I go more into this tree, I can see, for example, this motor, yeah, and I can see the description of this motor. So let's say I decided to select this motor, yeah, while this motor is attached to my cursor, yeah, I can click the tab key and rotate between all the 8 variants that this motor has. Once I'm satisfied with this motor position, I could just go ahead and click. Automatically, Eplan will recognize where this motor is placed and give it a unique device tag. this is based on your company settings. So if your settings is different than the NFPA standard, Eplan will adopt these settings and insert it into your symbol data. So here, the settings that I have for this project is based on the row number and the identification of this symbol, which is MTR to represent as a motor. Once I press OK, these information will be displayed on my schematics. As you can see, here's my motor, and here's the row number that this motor is placed on. Just let me select my settings here. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so now I have my motor placed on my schematics. I can double click on this motor later on, probably find out which part I'm gonna assign to this motor. I can easily go to my part tab here and use the device section selection tab, which is filter the entire database that I have and give me only motor parts. So if I go ahead into my device selection, you can see that Eplan gives me 3 part motors. And these, not the only parts that's in my part database, these are the only motor parts that's in my part database. And usually engineers are very good in memorizing the part number because they use most of the time the same part again and again. So I'm gonna go ahead and select this motor, for example. Yeah. Once I select this motor and I press apply, all the parts data that's associated with this part will get attached to this symbol. So all the voltage, the voltage, the manufacturer data that's associated with this part will get applied into this symbol. Gonna press OK here, and you can see here's the data or the information that's in my motor. The more I put into this symbol, the more information will start displaying. I can make it a little bit more clear if I want. So if I go right here, yeah, and I don't need to duplicate these information, so easily I can just select one of these information instead of keeping one duplicated twice and so on. Now, this is the first method of designing with Eplan, the most simple method of designing with Eplan, which is designing by the symbol. Let's say I know exactly what's the part that I'm gonna insert on my schematic. Yeah, in this case, I can easily open my part database. Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and use my filter. I create a small filter here just for this demo. Yeah, and let's say I know the exact part that I'm gonna use for this design. I can easily drag and drop the part on my schematics, and you can see automatically Eplan pick the correct symbol for this. Yeah, I don't have to go into my symbol library and search for that symbol. I could just go ahead and drag and drop the part, and the symbol will come with it. Yeah, as soon as I hover across from that motor, you can see that the connection is generating or get activated automatically. Yeah. Once I am satisfied with the position across from that motor, I can just go ahead and place it. And you can see even if I move it around, these lines will get updated or these connection will get updated automatically. Yeah. So the most important thing is to keep them on a same level. That's if you want to maintain a straight line. If you want to change the direction, let's say this is a little bit below, you can use these T nodes or these angles to reroute the connection to make it connect to this motor overload. So here, just back to my point, here we designed by the device because I knew the part number that I'm going to place in this. And as you can see right here, all the parts data comes automatically. Yeah. So if you can see the part number stored right here, and you can see a picture of that device, all the information that comes from the manufacturer itself. Yeah, so I'm 100% sure that these information are correct. And when I generate my bill of material, I know that this device will be in my bill of material and with the correct information. Now, before I move to the third step or the third way of designing with Eplan, I want you to take a look for a second right here. Yeah. When I hover over the connection, you can see that Eplan gives me the source and the target for each connection. Yeah. And if I take you a step back, we assign a part number here and here. So what I'm doing at this moment, yeah, this is the question. Yes, I'm designing. However, Eplan in the background doing tons of things for me. One of these things is building my connection report with a source and a target. Even the pen that it's attached to. So if I go to this one, it's connected to pin number 2. On the other side, it's connected to pin U1. So Eplan, I'm doing one thing, and Eplan in the background is doing tons of things. Also, Eplan is building my bill of material. We assign part to these symbols, so it's doing my bill of materials in the background. So this is the benefit of having all your project as one database. Now let's continue building on this circuit. So I'm going to use the third way of designing with Eplan. The third way of designing with Eplan will be is designing by macros or predefined circuits. So here I'm going to go ahead and place a phase power rail. Yeah, and I can, in the same macro, I can store several variations. So if I click the tab key, you can see I'm rotating between the two variants that this macro has. So I'm going to go ahead and select this variant. And once I click XY, Eplan knows exactly where to enter this macro. Once I press OK to complete my action, you can see here automatically Eplan generate these green text. So what is these green text? These green text is telling me that this power is coming from somewhere. So when I hold the control key and click on it, yeah, you can see that it took me to this page that tells me that the power rail that I just inserted, it's continuation of this connection. Yeah, same as here. When I click, I will go back to the page that we are creating together at the moment. Yeah, so I am showing you these things just to see the benefits of having the entire project database connected together. Now, once I'm satisfied with the power rail, I can easily connect it. Okay, I can easily connect it to the power rail just by dragging some T nodes. You can see easily placed, easily designed. Not so much effort to manage a connection here. Yeah, I'm going to continue building on this circuit by inserting more of this. Oops, sorry, wrong button. Right here. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do a power drop. And just like before, I'm going to use my X and Y. Yeah, and I'm going to ask Eplan to number my devices based on the position that it's placed in. So you can see now that this device is numbered based on the position. So this is placed on 6410, and you can see the 6410 got adopted here. I can go back and put a motor with a fan, just like so. And the devices are numbered automatically. And I'm going to put a transformer right below it. You can see all these devices get numbered automatically except for these contacts. The reason these contacts not numbered yet, because they are not the main device. So it's waiting on the coil, the host of that, these contacts, so it can get associated with it and adopt the device tag of the main device. A quick example of that will be if I open another page here, for example. You can see here's my PLC page. I'm going to go ahead and place this coil just with the same method that we did before. Okay, and I can just easily drag some connection from here, place them right here. You can see that this coil now placed on my schematics. I can go ahead easily find my device navigator, which is, it's telling me where this device is located. You can see that the coil right here has several contacts that belongs to it. Yeah. Now these are available for me because I just placed my coil and they are available to be used. All I have to do is just drag and drop these just like so. I want to do them in a straight line. Just like so. And you can see that these, just make a screen bigger. Yeah, you can see that these get a cross-reference too. So it's telling me where are the main devices located and what they are part of which part. Yeah, and on the other side, of course, if I click right here, you can see the cross-reference for each contact on its own. So here I could go ahead and click on it. It's located 6405. Okay. All right. Continue building on this screen. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and place more of the predefined circuits. Yeah. However, in this circuit, I want to show the power technology of macros. Here I have a circuit of a motor that carries several variants of the same motor circuit. Yeah. So with the same circuit, I have up to 26 different variants, and each variant has different categories or values for the entire circuit. So here I'm going to place this circuit, and Eplan automatically asking me what is the horsepower of this motor. So for example, I'm going to put a 10 horsepower for this one. Yes, number my devices. I can place the second one right here and say 25 horsepower, just to show you the difference between them. I'm going to place the third one here and put a 75 horsepower. And here, based on the horsepower of this motor, my entire circuit is getting updates. So if you take a look right here, this is a 10 horsepower motor. Yeah, the gauge of the wire is different. Yeah, and also the fuse right here is different as well. So here at 25 horsepower, it's 50 amp fuse. Yeah, with 8 gauge wire or cable. Excuse me. And here as well, so 10 horsepower with a 20 amp fuse. Let's say I made a mistake and this is not a 10 horsepower motor. I can easily right click and say assign a value set and just change that and say this is a 15 horsepower, and the entire circuit will get updated. This is the power of macro technology. You can customize your circuit however you want and eliminate tons of work and eliminate mistakes. All right, I will continue on this. You can see one schematics page took me less than 5 minutes to draw it all. You can see all the connections between my my schematics here, yeah, and not just the schematics, even the device itself right here, I can see the connections between them, yeah. So I'm 100% that I'm not missing or adding parts that don't need to be in my project or forget to delete. All these stuff is eliminated. Okay, now let's say I placed my circuits. My circuit is perfect. I need to number my wires. Yeah, I can go ahead easily and select a circuit or a page or entire project and go project data, connection, numbering, place. Just placing more of these connection definition points. I can select my circuit again and say connection enter designation. And you can see now that Eplan numbering all your connection based on your standard. Yeah, based on your settings, based on your schemes, however you like to number them, Eplan will do it for you. You can see here, this is the value what it was before, and now it will adopt the new number that's coming from your settings. You can, if you want, you can change that right now, or just leave it the way it is and press OK. You can see that each wire has, each wire has its own number. I've seen a question in the chat. Okay, is there a pre-built macro database to pull macros into a project? So we can, Eplan, when you install Eplan, we can provide you with some of the macros. So something like this to look at it and see how is it designed, what is the data behind it, and how it was configured. Yeah, every company is different, and Eplan is a very wild platform. Yeah. We won't be able to make circuits for every individual companies. Yeah. So the macro is something that you design specifically for your company. So you are going to design a circuit anyway. Yeah. When you design your project or schematics, you will design your circuit anyway. It will be very easy once you complete your design. You have 100% sure, you are 100% sure that this circuit is perfect, and you think you're going to use it again. All you have to do is just select the circuit, yeah, just like so. Right-click and create window macro, symbol macro. Once you do that, yeah, you can see here, you can specify the variant of this macro. You could tell it to be stored in your database. So I'm going to go ahead and call it this maybe XYZ, for example, and I'm going to put it in my, yeah, this is fine. I'm going to put it right here. Once I press OK, that's it. My macro is saved. You can see XYZ now is available for me. And here's all, here's the circuit, everything that I selected, even the connections. It will select it. You can see that this one is stored. I'm going to put it on the side right here so you can just see it. Yeah. And of course, all the configuration is stored with it. Yeah. So it's very easy. What it's gonna take time to build this macro database, yeah, but you design in your circuit anyway. Why not make a use of it for next time? So this is a very easy software to work with. It's not very complicated, yeah, and it will work very hand by hand with you to be more efficient. Okay, perfect.
Hey, Narelle, there is one other question. It says, please cover terminals. I have a hard time tracking the designation I have already used and often end up using the same terminal multiple times.
Okay, sure, no problem. I will do that. This question is, these things is very easy to solve in Eplan. Yeah, so here, if you take a look, I have terminals. So the best thing or the magic about Eplan, everything or most of the things that we have in Eplan has its own terminal. So you can easily target it and see how it's acting into your project. Yeah, you can easily look at the terminal strip navigator. Yeah, and select any terminals you have on your schematics and say synchronize selection. Now watch the magic. Automatically Eplan open that terminal strip for you in the navigator. You can see how is this terminal is acting in your project. If the designation, for example, if I double click on this terminal, which is what we open, yeah, if the designation is not what you want, yeah, you can easily select that terminal and say number terminals, yeah, and set up your own designation to achieve the goal that you're looking for. Also, if you take a look at maybe if I have, we'll give it a shot. I will open this one just to see. You can see if I open my edit in table window, I can see all my terminals. I can jump my terminals, yeah, without even showing it on the schematics. I can show it on my schematics, or if I don't want to show it on my schematics, I can do that as well. I can jump my terminals. Now these two terminals are jumped together, yeah. I can keep track of my terminals, where they are connected. Of course, this table is also modified, so you can add more information into this table or delete information from that table. It's up to you. Yeah, but here the information that's available for us at this moment, and you can see all the terminals right here with no issues. Yeah, you can also your designation right here as well number it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just show you a quick one. I'm gonna start with value number 1 and increment as simple as that. Yeah, you can see right now it's 1, 2, 3. The PE is remained unchanged. That's because when I number it, I say PE do not modify, leave it the way it is. Yeah, if I say number it, it will go under that. Yeah, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way to 12. Yeah, and you can also say I want to number them beige faced, like sorting, cable based, all these good stuff. That's all depends on your settings. I'm going to cancel. I don't want to save my action. Yeah, and this is how easy you can manage your terminals in Eplan. And of course, these things is the terminal subject is very, very wild. It will not be covered during this demo session, but Eplan offers many trainings. So we have the basic trainings, and we have a class specifically for terminal where we go over multi-level terminals, terminals with settle jumpers, all these good stuff. Eplan will back you up with trainings and consulting to be more efficient. And once you are satisfied with the circuit or the way the terminal looks, just like I mentioned, it's as simple as selecting the circuit, right click, create a window macro, just like we did a minute ago. Okay, all right, let's continue. Now, I'm done with my design. Let's say I am completed with my design, and it's time for me to harvest all this good work that I put into my project. If you remember at the beginning when I said Eplan is doing tons of things in the background. Yes, you design in a circuit, but Eplan in the background is building your connection list, your bill of material, all this good stuff. Now, there's two ways you can see reports in Eplan. One, when you generate it within the project. The other one, when you export these reports as a PDF or export it as an Excel file. So the first one we're going to go over is generating reports within Eplan. So I can go utilities report generate, and here's the list of reports that Eplan can generate. Yeah, you can see tons of reports available for you. So for example, PLC addresses overview, PLC cards overview. This is a very important report that customers ask for this because it will help them a lot for the when they troubleshoot or build in their cabinets. Terminals connection diagram, terminal strip overview, or maybe connection list or cable overview, summarize part list, which is the bill of material. Yeah, all these good stuff, it's available for you. Now, for this specific project, I only picked these specific reports. So I don't want to overcrowd my project. I wanted to make it as simple as possible so you can see the result easier. So I'm going to select my project and click the gear and watch the magic. Yeah. Just take a couple of seconds to run through the entire project, and that's it. Once I close this window, you probably notice that Eplan added some more sections here. We're going to go one by one with these sections. Yeah, so if I double click on any of these bill of materials, for example, you can see the part number, the order number, the quantity of that part, the description. Even if there is a picture associated with this device, Eplan will show it to you. Manufacturers, and if there's a link attached to that, if there's a link attached to that part, you can see now when I clicked on the link, it took me to the part itself. Yeah, this is all these information. It's up to you if you want to show it. So these reports are fully customized. You don't have to stick with this. But when you install Eplan, yeah, Eplan gives you tons of forms. Like you can look at it and see if you like it or no, or probably add some modification to it. Yeah. So in this specific form, it shows the part number and the order number, the quantity description, and so. Yeah, this is in the bill of material. So this is the entire bill of material list for the project. Yeah. Now, here's the cable reports. We have a cable overview. Yeah, which just shows me every cable and the length of each cable, and cable diagrams. Here we specifically targeted each cable, how many conductors in each cable. So let me pick a good one. They're all good, but I want to make sure that we get one that's have more informations. Yeah, that's of course depends on the part that you assign to the cable. Yeah, here you can see the source and the target for each cable. You can see here if the end attachment to that cable, the color of that cable. Yeah, and here you can see the cable device tag showing of that cable. Yeah, if I click on this cable, of course, it takes me to where's this cable is placed on my schematics, so I can see all my connections. Yeah. Okay. Now let's get to to the terminal reports. So we have two type of reports here. Terminal strip overview. You can see all the terminal strip that's in your project, and a terminal diagram where each terminal specifically on its own You can see also, when it show, it has more details. So for example, like this one, yeah, you can see if there is a text surrounding that, or a function text surrounding that, the terminal. You can see the target designation. If these terminals are jumped together, or if there's a two terminals that's jumped together, you can see the jumper on your report. You can also look where this terminal is placed on your schematics as well. Yeah, just like we did with the cable. Now, one of my favorite reports is the wire list. So the wire list here, it's individually showing you each wire or each connection that's in your schematics with the source. If I zoom in just to so you can get a better view of this, yeah, the source and the target for each connection, the length of this connection, the color of this, the number, and the end termination of this connection. So imagine instead of going through a 10,000 page project to build a cabinet, you have this connection list where it's telling you exactly where this wire is going to do, exactly what's the gauge of this wire, and the length of this wire. And you can just one by one go in from the source to the target and build in your panel easily. One last thing I want to show you, or before we end the session, when we were looking at the cables, or when we were looking at the schematics that we built together, we saw the connections between the devices. And for example, if you remember this coil right here, we saw the connection between this coil and its children, or the contact that belongs into this coil, right? So this applies on the entire project of Eplan. So if you take a look at the top right here, we probably didn't go through all of this, but I will go through it with you. You can see all my schematics, my fluid diagrams, my PNID, all is in one project, yeah? And all these PNID symbols are or loops connected somehow. If there's a sensor or a valve, it's connected somehow to the fluid diagrams or to the electrical drawings. So for example, if I take a look at cable topology, which is representing the entire system here, I can see a proximity switch or a motor right here, and that motor takes me to where is it located into my schematics. So I can design my entire system into Eplan, and that representation will be showing me the schematics and the overview of that symbol or that part. Here I can see the system overview page, yeah, and I can click and see, for example, this is a proximity switch that's located here. Yeah, I can click on that proximity switch and easily see how is it wired in my electrical drawing. Yeah, so the entire project data will be stored as one database in one project. So you don't have to keep opening file again and again. All of that is stored in one project. Another thing is your 3D representation also is included into your project. So if I go ahead here and open my 3D navigator, you can see my hydraulic flow system, and I can see my main control panel. I can open my main control panel just like so. Yeah, take a look at my control panel, move it around and see what's inside it. And of course, I can show my my mounting panel, I look at these devices that's in my mounting panel. So if I have a device here, I can highlight that device and click the F key on my keyboard, and it will take me to my schematics and tell me where's this device is wired in my schematics. Yeah, I can look at my control panel as a whole and see if all my components is fitting in one cabinet or no, or if I need more adjustment, or maybe I need a smaller control panel or a bigger control panel. Yeah, this is all done with ProPanel. With the next session, my colleagues, he will go over ProPanel and what's benefits of ProPanel. Yeah, and he will show you the connection between ProPanel and P8 and what type of data we can export out of ProPanel. Also, before I end this session, out of these 3D representation, I can extract my 2D. Yeah, here I can see the 2D representation of my control panel, and this is generated automatically. You don't have to put any efforts in it. You can see here the drilling pattern, and here I can see my control panel with the enclosure legend. You can see the bubbles for each device and the description. I really don't want to show you how I can generate these automatically because I want you to go ahead and join my colleague's session for later, and he will show you tons of things that Eplan Pro Panel could do for you. You can go and help about, and you can, I'm sorry, oops, help content, yeah. And here you can see that Eplan open the help file for you, and you can type in anything in the search field, and Eplan will filter that for you. You can see the news of Eplan, an overview of Eplan, and here it's very well divided in sections. Here, the common functionality that Eplan, here's ProPanel functionality, specifically for ProPanel, Fluid, pre-planning, and Eplan View. Not least, I will go over on how to export reports out of Eplan. Now, we saw the generation of Eplan reports inside the project. Now, how can, if I'm interested to see a bill of material as an Excel file, how can I do that? Is it easy with Eplan? Which type of information I can see or view in the Excel file? I can easily do that by selecting the project or a page or a section. Yeah, go into utilities, manufacturing data, export labeling, and here I can see that this is a settings that it's stored for me. I can say I need a bill of material or a connection list if there is any, or a cable diagram. It's up to you, whatever you want to export. Yeah, but this time is one at a time. We can't generate the entire report sections in once. So now I'm just gonna do the bill of material as once, and I'm gonna say export and start application. And you can see here, I can see the name of the project on the top, and you can see the properties here: part number, order number, total amount, number of units, manufacturer name, and designation, which is a short description. Yeah, here's all my part number, order number. So sometimes the part number or the number that you send to the manufacturer is different than the part number that you use in Eplan. And here's the total amount, the manufacturer name, and the designation. And all these information is stored in your database, and it only filtered the one that's used in your project. Yeah. Now the question is, how is these part came into your part database or came into your project at the first place, right? So this is a, do you create them yourself, or how is that happening? Yeah, I will let my colleague Jennifer answer this question, and I will go ahead and demonstrate it. Go ahead, Jennifer.
So then this is where you would want to go ahead and launch the ePlan data portal, and which is embedded already into our software. So as Narelle says, then you can, once you're registered as a user, then you can manually, then you can search with, for either, there's different ways that you can search parts, or you can, if you know the manufacturer that you're looking for specifically, then you can go down to find the manufacturer name, and then you can go ahead and click on a manufacturer. So which one did, okay, we're going to choose Allen Bradley. And then you would scroll down to the product family that you're looking for. And in this case, you're talking about the circuit breaker, right? And then you go ahead and click on it. And then it gives you all the information that is available for this particular component. So if you go down to the features, you're going to see that this particular manufacturer is offering what we like to say different data depths. So we have commercial data, we have 2D information, and then we have a connection point or a function template, from what I can see on there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yep. And then you're able to click this and then add it into your parts database if you would like to use it. So again, this is directly embedded into the our software. So this is really another unique feature that sets us apart from other people out, other types of software out there. Is that, again, we work directly, that's the master data team works directly with our manufacturers to gather this information and compile it already as complete data sets, so then that you're able to then click and download it directly already into your project here. And you can import it directly as Narelle is showing. So again, this is a great benefit, again, to show that it saves time, not having to go and search. Really, that's the idea of the data portal, so that you can find and not have to search for product information and component information.
And all you have to do is import this once into your internal library or internal database, and then you can use it as many times as you want. So you don't have to go into the data portal and import this part every time you want to use it. You can, but this is the more efficient way is to import it once, and it will live into your internal part library as long as you want it, unless you go ahead and delete it. Yeah. And this is the benefit of having the data portal. The data portal, just like my colleague Jennifer said, all the parts on the data portal, the manufacturer, the mother manufacturer of these parts are the one who maintain these parts. They are the one who check these parts, put these data into these parts, design the macro of these parts, the 3D graphic of this part. So you are 100% sure that most of these information are correct because they are coming from the manufacturer. You can also rate the parts. So if you see something that's abnormal of this part, you can rate this part, and you can send your rating to the manufacturer, and I'm going to rate it as excellent or remove my rating, and I can send reports to that manufacturer and say, hey, can you check this? This information is not available, or maybe it needs to be modified or something. Or if you see a manufacturer or a part that should be on the data portal and it's not on the data portal, my colleague Jennifer is the account manager for the data portal. She's responsible for that. You can send her an email and she will communicate with that manufacturer to see if they can add these parts to the data portal.
I hope you enjoyed the demo. Be sure to stop by our Eplan Experience booth at the Rockwell Automation Fair at home.
The Eplan platform includes products that are tailored to provide efficiencies in design and engineering of electrical and automation projects. Eplan has always been the tool that allows electrical engineers to excel and outperform the competition. Although Eplan may be part of your vision, you need to know for sure that it's going to work and that you'll be able to show your team. The Eplan guided trial team of experts can help you with this task. This test drive of sorts is not only free, but it includes a real project plan with guidance and support from an Eplan certified consultant. So what are you waiting for? Your journey starts here. info.eplanusa.com/guided-trial.
When we wake up in the morning, the world has changed again. And if change is the single constant of today, whether in automation, digital transformation, mechatronics, or electrical engineering, we should take change as what it is. Chance. Our mission? We want to design the future of engineering. Designing the future means being open. Open to everyone and every idea. We connect engineers, systems, data and disciplines worldwide for machine and panel builders. Designing the future means empowering. We empower engineers all over the world to realize their ideas. Our tools and solutions enable you to maximize your efficiency, customized to your needs, from simple to high-end. Designing the future means being future-proof. We lead the market with more than 50,000 customers and with 19 languages. We offer local support in more than 50 countries. This makes us the global partner for you and your future success. Because efficient engineering is when a plan becomes Eplan. Collaboration means being close to our customers, listening to your needs and your challenges, and understanding how we can help you to plan and shape the future. Let's Eplan.
Hey, I'm Johnny Wilson. I work for Eplan USA. I'm based out of Seattle. My favorite part for working for Eplan is that I get to work with new customers with having new challenges every single day. And it's great discussing their problems and delivering a solution that is custom and bespoke to that customer in particular. The coolest benefit from working with Eplan is I get to take away manual and laborious tasks away from the engineer, and he can focus on better tasks in his engineering.
Hi, I'm Joanna Pruden, and I just wanted to share a little bit about my experience with Eplan. So one of the greatest parts about working with Eplan is that we help all different types of customers. So we aren't tied to just one industry, so therefore neither am I. I spend a lot of time in front of my customers in their factories, in their shops, and getting to learn about every industry pretty much in the world. So we, are a very hands-on company. We audit your processes. So the trade-off for that is that I see something new every day. It's always something different. And I interface with people from all different walks of life doing all different things. And it's pretty great. So for me, the best part I think that our customers benefit from comes from my background. I spent about 12 years in the process industry, and repeatedly I would deal with the challenges of a customer referencing a drawing that had been updated in the field, but not updated in the records, or a customer was trying to swap out an instrumentation piece in the field, and that piece is obsolete or doesn't fit into the enclosure, or some version of that challenge. And inevitably, the documents don't match what's in the field, always. Even if parts of the documentation package is updated, not everything is. With Eplan, it's seamless to update a part. If you update a BOM, the drawing's automatically updated. It works hand in hand to where those challenges are gone. And what's done in the field is updated once, and every part of that document is updated. It's time-stamped. You know when it was changed. If you do have to replace a part, the data portal gives you a drop-down menu of what parts are drop-in replacements. You can easily match up the specs right in the data portal. So those maintenance issues are no longer challenges just to find out what's there. It really does become a guided design process versus just a document with a drawing.
There are so many great things about working for Eplan. My favorite is probably being part of a global team and being able to interact with colleagues not only from the US, but from Germany, Poland, Italy, Brazil, and Mexico. I love having the privilege of working with so many different cultures and wonderful people.
Hello everybody, my name is Ahmad Omari. I'm a Business Exploration Manager here at Eplan USA. My favorite part about working at Eplan is the energy. Eplan is a very lively place with all sorts of innovation happening across almost every facet of the organization. We think this is because of you, our customers, our prospects, our partners, and this is all of the energy that you bring to us that make this place such a great place to work.
Hi there, my name is Paul McAdams. I'm Senior Account Manager for Eplan USA. And my experience with Eplan has been exceptional. The one thing I found really interesting about Eplan compared to other software solutions I've been involved in, it changes the paradigm from traditional drawing to actually using data. What's really amazing to me is, and when I work with customers, how that data can actually be used to enhance the manufacturing. Let me give you an example. The data that comes from design can actually be used to improve the wiring of a panel. And it's done with instructions, not reading schematics. That in itself can possibly lead to a significant savings in the area of panel wiring, which is about 60% of the total cost of manufacturing panel. The other thing I found interesting about Eplan software, again, because it's database driven, you can actually use this in your pre-sales role. In other words, you use the data, not recreate the data, and shorten the time period to which you can actually create a price quote to a customer and iterate. And as we know today, it's all about speed and accuracy to get the job done correctly the first time. So with that, hey, enjoy your time here. Ask a lot of questions. That's what we're here for, and we look forward to seeing you. Take care. Bye.
Hello, my name is Debbie Raimundo, and I am the marketing lead for Eplan USA. One of the great things about working at Eplan is all of the incredible, smart and talented people that I get to work with every day, even if it's just remotely right now, include not only here in the US, but globally as well. And it's really cool to be able to bounce ideas off of each other, learn best practices, as well as hear some really great customer stories worldwide.
One of my favorite things is the flexibility. Everyone here at Eplan, everyone's very close. Everyone understands that you have a personal life as well as a professional life, and things come up in both of those lives. And so people are able to cover for you if you need that. Everyone's a very close, tight-knit group.
My name is Andrew Fortenberry. I've been with Eplan 3 years to the date. I am a regional account manager for the Southeast. Yes, we are a global company, so it gives us the opportunity to interact with many different nationalities. And the beautiful part behind it is the common factor is we all want the same thing. We want customers to succeed, whether it be in the northern market, anywhere in Europe and China and Japan and Canada and Mexico, South Africa, South America. You know, we all have the same end goal in mind. We want customers to succeed.
My name is Sergio Montiel. I've been with Eplan just shy of 2 years. I'd say most companies here, or at least the ones that I've dealt with, come from more CAD or mechanical, to Bob's point as well. The nice thing is that, yeah, they see the huge difference in the tool. And on top of that, the capabilities. So obviously we have 2D, 3D capabilities. We have a whole platform that, you know, offers an array of different, I guess, tools that can assist your process, and hopefully you can utilize and optimize your process a little bit better using Eplan.
Very cool. And we're coming at it from the electrical side, and they're real familiar with the mechanical piece of it, and they've been using a mechanical solution to do their electrical. And when they see how easy it is to do it with something that was designed to do electrical, it makes quite a difference for them. And you see a lot of oohs and ahs when you're showing the product, and they understand that, hey, this is tailor-made for electrical design.
Hey everybody, I'm Scott Miller. I am the head of the inside sales team here for Eplan USA, located in the Schaumburg office, which is just outside of Chicago. And as you're starting to engage with new customers, they really start understanding the full power behind Eplan and the whole platform, that it's really not just a CAD tool, it's really an engineering tool, freeing up time for the engineers to get away from some of the administrative tasks that are typically involved with building bill of materials, or if they make a change on a single page, the system within Eplan actually updates all of that processes for you. It's very automated, and for them to understand that whole automation built into Eplan can be really powerful, and then they start to understand that Eplan is definitely a tool that they want to learn more about and what are the full capabilities. One of the great things that I've seen with the growth that Bob has mentioned is the continuation of communication within the company. So management has really been working with all levels of the company to ensure that we have what we need to succeed. And you always hear companies talk about having an open door policy. Well, since Eplan's really got that global footprint, we really take it to a different level based on that philosophy. I, for one, I'm always working with people in Germany and other management in Spain, making sure that we have what we need to be here successful here at Eplan USA. So it's really great collaboration globally.
Hello, my name is Debbie Raimundo, and I am the marketing lead for Eplan USA. Joining me today are some team members out of the Houston office, who are Alessandro Biondi, Kruno Kotnohorski, and Reem Elasmu.
Okay, speaking about best memories with Eplan, obviously it's always great if you see customers succeed. Right? On a private base, what Eplan offers us is a lot of traveling. I've been in my life with Eplan already at 11 different countries. It's data for customer visits, for fairs like the Rockwell Fair, or for company meetings. If I have to summarize what the best memory was at Eplan, when I first traveled to the United States and saw the Chicago skyline for the very first time, then I thought, yeah, I'm here.
All right, so if you ask me what is my best memory working at Eplan, well, that's actually a tough question to answer because I have too many memories to share. But the top two, I would say, the global sales meeting that we had last year in Germany. So that gave us the chance to meet the Eplan colleagues from all over the world. So Eplan China, Brazil, Germany, France. So yeah, it was very good to meet all the people behind the screens coming from different countries, see what they do and what they recommend from their side. The second good memory that I have is actually for my team here in Houston, when I was pregnant and I was craving Chick-fil-A all the time. So I made the guys go to Chick-fil-A every other day to have the same thing for at least 3 months and no one complained. So yeah, I'm definitely blessed to have these guys working with me in the same office.
One of my favorite memories of working with Eplan was when I was relatively new and I attended the Rockwell Automation Fair in Chicago. It was really impressive to see the size. I'd always been at events as an attendee, but never as a participant in the event, and it was really cool to see customers all over from the U.S. Obviously, we're in Houston and we deal with our customers here, but to see other industries that are not prominent here in the local area, and just see the organization as well. That was a really cool memory that I can probably pinpoint. And then obviously the day-to-day. One of my favorite parts of working with Eplan is primarily the people, the team that we have here in Houston, and also all across the U.S. Really ambitious and driven team. And everybody is really on the same page and trying to help our customers, which is really nice.
So my favorite part work with Eplan is diversity. Every week is different than the previous week. Every new week we discuss solutions for our customers with our colleagues. We have an amazing team here in Houston with sales, inside sales, and professional services. We're working tightly together, and yeah, that's why it's really awesome.
One of the coolest or greatest things that I think our customers get from Eplan is not only the state-of-the-art technology that we provide and the solutions, but it's also the benefit that they get from also the knowledge of our team, and myself, Reem, and Kruno, we really engage with our customers, and they get the benefit of all of our combined experiences, and they can really leverage our experience, our know-how to help them optimize their own processes and ultimately benefiting their business.
So my answer definitely will complete what Alessandro and Kruno said. It's the diversity that's my favorite part working at Eplan. So either whenever we're talking about the team, so we have different academic backgrounds, different knowledges, and so on. And also whenever we're working with customers, we have different types of customers, different ecosystem parts. So we see small panel shops, we see the big multi-international companies. So they come in different sizes and different technologies. It's that diversity when it comes to day-to-day business that's definitely keep us enthusiastic and excited about doing what we do.
The coolest benefit what customer can get out of Eplan is people. People who care about the success and efficiency of our customers, and ultimately people who become friends.
If I had to highlight a booth area this year, I really think it would be something, the webinars, videos, and podcast section. I know we made strides to put out a lot more how-to videos, content, really good experiences also from our customers and our podcasts, kind of learning from their successes, their mistakes, and learn from our customers and their own journey with Eplan. So I really think check that part out in our group.
One of the main benefits that our customers can take advantage of is actually the collaboration that Eplan provides them with. So the collaboration between engineers, the communication that becomes easier for them to exchange the data, the collaboration between departments. So let's say manufacturing and electrical department, the collaboration between them and Eplan as a staff as well. So that's a key benefit that we provide to our customers to help them succeed. I would always recommend visiting the live webcast or the live chat. So that's a good benefit that you can get out of the fairs, because you have direct contact with the experts. You can talk to them, ask them direct questions, and they'll answer you right away. And that's definitely something that I would take advantage of whenever I have the chance to.
So I would recommend our customers who are visiting our booth to check out first the virtual chat with our desk in order to get informed what they're looking for and what kind of solutions do we offer at our automation fair. Thanks for participating this year.
Sean O'Brien. I'm sales manager at Eplan USA, representing the Eastern United States, and I'm based in the Detroit, Michigan office. Been with Eplan almost a year now. And what impressed me most about Eplan when I joined is the amount of experience that we have on our team here. I mean, we have some really, really experienced, seasoned individuals, and at times it seems like we're almost a consulting organization and not a software organization. And we're able to really have deep discussions with our customers, and sometimes it seems like we know as much or more about our customers' business than they do sometimes. So I think that's really cool and really unique about Eplan. Things that people might not know about us is that, a lot of our expertise is, we kind of divide it up based on the industry that our customers are in. So whether the customer is in automotive or shipbuilding or building technology, we have at a global level and a local level, we have teams of experts that are focused on that industry and can speak intelligently to it. So it's, we get very, very specific in our areas of expertise. I thought that was pretty cool. I would recommend that our customers check out the cloud engineering area. Cloud and cloud engineering is something that we are devoting a lot of our resources to and a lot of our R&D spend on, and it's something that obviously we see as part of the future for the industry. So there's a lot of cool things in there, and it's very easy to get started whether you're an Eplan user or not. And there's things in there for collaboration and automation, and I just think that's very interesting. Be sure to check that out when you're there.
Hi, my name is Roger. I've been with Eplan for almost a year now, and I am an account manager for Ohio and Kentucky. What I have seen at Eplan that makes this job really fun is that when I call up a customer, whether it's somebody I've known for a while or somebody brand new to me, they're anxious to hear how we can help them improve their engineering efficiency. That makes my job a lot easier and a lot more fun when somebody actually wants to talk to you instead of just they think you're trying to sell them a product. So that's been great for me. When I met all the people in the office in Schaumburg, I was really warmly greeted. They were excited to have somebody new building business for us and just a different face in the organization. And it's been really fun to work with all these people because we've even had some Friday happy hours virtually, and it's really been fun to get to know everybody. One of the things that I've seen in Eplan is we have support engineers, consultants, and salespeople all throughout the country. And what I've learned is that it doesn't matter where they're located. Our support has been just as good with a consultant in Texas and an engineer in Oregon, or somebody here in our local office in the Detroit area. It doesn't matter. We're getting the same level of support for customers, and they're very happy with that so far.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica. I'm the marketing specialist at Eplan USA. I'm here with the order processing team.
Roseanne. I'm Gina Columbus, part of the order processing team. Have been part of the team for almost 2 years.
Hi, I'm Danielle. I've been here almost 2 years myself in the OP team.
Hi, my name is Linda. I've been with Eplan for about 9 months.
Yeah, my name is Johannes. I'm order processing manager here with Eplan. I'm with the US team since January, and I started working with Eplan already in 2010. So already quite of a journey with Eplan.
I was going to say, and I think that all of us feel this way, is that we enjoy seeing all the different employees that work for Eplan from all over the world that come visit us in Schaumburg, and we get to see lots of different cultures and languages and accents and special treats that they bring by, and the way that their styles and their traditions, and it's nice to talk to people from other parts of the world, and I find that to be fascinating and interesting and definitely something that I enjoy.
Yes, I agree with that, definitely.
I had the chance to travel to different countries, and it was always, and probably this is kind of like the best moment for me, not just one particular moment, but whenever I was abroad, the people are so friendly. They showed me around after hours for sure, and yeah, to show me their cities, their cultures, and we did this in exchange. We have, as the headquarters in Germany, we have many colleagues from around the world. Stopping by at our office and say hello for everyone. And there as well, we show them around the beautiful cities, Düsseldorf and Cologne, and also to show Germany and from its best part. So this is basically for me the best moment which is like a multiple thing, and like having now the opportunity to be here in the US and to get now your culture more and more, even when it's quite tricky in this situation right now, but we're doing the best out of it. Yeah, absolutely.
I would have to agree. This is the most diverse company I've been in a long time. I mean, you see so many different people from different cultures, backgrounds, and to sit and talk with someone and learn. But I've learned so much stuff about other cultures that I didn't know, coming from here. But I mean,
You learn a lot.
You do. You learn quite a bit from someone, and it's actually fun to learn about different people.
and we discussed this earlier. For us, I think this covers the best moment with Eplan, and the favorite part is kind of like maybe the same, to have all the different people working with from different cultures and countries, and this is probably also the favorite part of it, to be in such a global and in this community or this company to work in.
And you learn different things in different languages, how to say good morning, how to say hello, how to say thank you. That's so cool. Say it in 5 different languages, you know?
That is true.
Well, more in our company because there's about 10 different languages. Yeah.
Just in our office.
You know, just talking about like what you did in your house or your kids, your family, everything, just sharing our experiences, you know, kind of brings everyone together.
I say probably it's really fun working there because, you know, in the office we see people every day. And for example, Roseanne and I have a lot of food conversations during our during our downtime.
Yes, and the food, like Gina was saying about the cultures, we've tried so many different things, and it just makes our day even better. And that's my best part of it.
Absolutely, yes. Sharing recipes or
you can learn so much about the world, about the cultures, about the food or something.
For sure. I don't have to go as far to get my food.